And welcome to Jason Cabinets Experience. I'm your host, Jason Cabinets. The Jason Cabinets Experience is brought to you by Cabinets HR. At Cabinets HR, we provide HR to companies of 49 or fewer people. And we're currently providing no-cost employee handbooks and HR policies to companies in Seattle. Guest today is Jeffrey Cheatham II. Jeffrey, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jason. Thanks for having me.
So first question, do you happen to know how it came about? Because I'll tell you, hey, scoop it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right here? Good?
Yeah. Actually, let me accept just the camera real fast.
Okay. Cool.
So after you tell me your story, I'll tell you the story how my name was the second.
Mhm.
You happen to know how your parents named you the second versus junior?
Funny story. So originally my dad wanted to name me Julius Brown because his father's last name was Brown, and Julius was after Julius Erving, who was his favorite basketball player at the time. And when he decided to name me after him, my dad's name is Jeffrey Cheatham, of course. He wanted to name me the second because he knew that I was going to be something special, and he always read about how royalty would be the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. So he put that pressure on me and make sure that I'll be worth something or make myself something. So he named me Jeffrey Cheatham the second and not Junior.
So my son's story is kind of the opposite. So my son's being born. I didn't want to be named Jason because, like, nothing, whatever.
Yeah.
And because I mean, at that time, it was like Jason Jr. I mean, juniors, right?
Mhm.
Every junior I knew at the time, what I could refer to was a fucking bitch, right? just a piece of shit, right? I didn't want to like jinx my son, and my wife like, well, Jason second. Okay, we'll go for Jason second, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why my son not junior because every junior I knew at the time, everywhere was like a bitch, not doing anything with their lives,
Right.
a criminal, a drug addict.
Okay, so you didn't want that title attached to you being a
Yeah,
bitch.
I don't
Okay.
want to, yeah. So I had to say the second, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So what do you do to take care of yourself? You're doing a lot, which we can dig into later, but what do you do as far as like physical, mental, spiritual, all that kind of stuff?
I love hiking, man. Like I like walking outdoors. Just like we missed out on the whole Northern Lights thing. I just love nature, dude. Like every chance I get, I'll take a hike around Washington. For the past few years, I've been doing that. And I didn't know that Washington has so many great trails, so many great outdoorsy spots that you can just immerse yourself in and get lost in. So I'll do that. I work out at a dojo. I started working out again at a Christy Dojo. My bro Solomon Prince is one of the instructors there, so I've been working out with him, and he gets me right. It's like high intense training with boxing, wrestling, cardio. So I'm getting back into it again. I lost 10 pounds, so this time next summer my body's gonna be completely different. So
we'll get back to hiking in a minute, but
yeah.
So you bought a boxing. You watching the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight?
Yes, I'm gonna watch that.
It's crazy. Like all the you have all these young 20-year-old females. Oh my God, I feel sorry for Mike Tyson. Jake Paul's gonna beat his ass.
No idea.
Yeah,
they don't know. They don't know idea of the monster that lives in that old sage.
And like he's not smoking dope no more. He's training.
He's focused.
He said he's back to his old self where he doesn't like to do, but he said he needs to
Yeah. Like seeing his videos on Instagram, I'm just like that monster is still there.
Yeah.
Because once you have that monster, you never lose it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jake Paul really knows that what he's gonna get into, because we know how Mike Tyson grew up, Catskill, New York, I think what it was, and it grew up in very, very harsh conditions. So you don't really see too many suburban kids beat up hood kids.
No,
you don't really see that too often. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And
but Mike can go to different places.
He can go to different place mentally and give a damn about the boxing ring. So I'm just waiting to see that. It don't matter that he's damn near 60.
Yeah.
That beast is still in there. So
I mean, Jake Paul better hope that Mike Tyson don't have a taste for ears no more.
Yeah, I know. I hope he I forgot about it. I just had that flashback of the whole scene with Evander Holyfield jumping like, ah.
It was like, I remember the first fight they had, like you knew something happened, like, what happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
He bit his hair. Oh shit. And
like,
the fight going on.
Yeah.
He bit his hair fucking again. Like, what's going on?
Twice. That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have a taste for it no more. We know that Mike likes to smoke weed. Yeah. So hopefully he didn't have the money.
And people are talking, Mike Tyson's gonna take a dive, whatever, for the money. Like,
I doubt it.
No, he don't need the money. He has too much pride.
Right.
Like,
as soon as I knew, because that was my original suspicion, but as soon as they announced that it was a sanctioned bout that was going to be on an official record, that's when I was like, ooh,
yeah,
this might, okay, Mike got this one.
Is this true? I saw this on the internet. Of course, you can't trust the internet. But I was saying the rules were like, Jake gets to wear like a helmet. They have different size gloves and stuff.
I heard that too. I don't know if that's true or not.
There's no way that can
I hope not.
That can be no way.
But please don't do that, because you didn't do it for nobody else. Yeah. Don't do it for Mike.
In no way that's
Nah,
true.
give him the fair fade, man.
And plus, I think they're doing that Cowboy Stadium too. So that's gonna be sold out.
Star studded. It's gonna be crazy. Man, that's gonna be. I can't wait to see that. That's in July.
I
Is
think
it?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, if I'm Jake Paul's manager, I'm like, don't do this because like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine he wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You beat up an old ass man.
Yeah.
He loses.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so Jake Paul's like he's lose.
Yeah. Actually, I would push back on that and say win-win because if he loses, oh, that's just Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like that's Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does beat Mike Tyson, that feeds into his villain arc anyway.
That's
because
true.
Jake Paul's been presenting himself as a villain,
Yeah,
and it
true.
fits into that.
Yeah.
And he's going to make a lot of money regardless. So now people are going to continuously buy these fights to see somebody finally beat Jake Paul. It's kind of like the Floyd Mayweather thing.
Yeah.
You know, when Floyd Mayweather was doing his thing, he always fought Mexican fighters on Cinco de Mayo, knowing that all the Mexican community is going to buy him, just watch him lose.
That's true.
So I think that's what Jake Paul is doing.
So this is something else I would do. You know, Mike Tyson has that dope company, right? Marijuana.
Yeah.
You know, he sells these little gummies called Mike's Bites.
Yeah.
If I was Jake Paul, I would go to the fucking bag of Mike's Bites and throw him in the ring.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, continue to be the villain, man.
Yeah. So back to hiking. How many years you been hiking?
I would say in the beginning of the pandemic.
Okay.
Because when the pandemic started, they shut down all the public parks.
Yeah.
But they didn't shut down those trails though. So when I would start walking, I would go to Coal Creek Trail in Bellevue, or Coal Creek Mountain, or Tiger Mountain in Bellevue. Went to a couple of spots like North Bend and stuff like that. And typically I don't hike, but when I started doing it during the pandemic, I didn't realize how much peace I felt. Just being out there in nature and being lost. You don't hear
it's so peaceful.
Yeah, don't feel the the sound of electricity, or you don't hear cars. You just hear the leaves like rustling because of the wind.
Nature,
all the nature, and you really start getting to know who you really are because all the distractions are gone.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite spots?
Coal Creek Trail.
Where's that at?
It's in Bellevue.
Okay.
It's in Bellevue. Don't know the address. I know how to get there though, but I don't know the address. Coal Creek Trail. I also like Seward Park because I grew up around that area.
Okay.
Love that.
That's for the Audubon Society, is that right?
Yeah. I did. I forgot the name of this one spot in North Bend. It's like a short trail, but it's like a beautiful waterfall though. Yeah. I forgot. I don't want to say not Twin Peaks, but something like that. It's in North Bend though. I can't think of the name.
There's a hiking trail. I think it's Ho Chi Minh walking trail. Supposedly, you go to the spot. It's like the most crowded spot in the world, right? There's no man noise there, right?
Oh,
you
wow.
can't hear planes, can't hear anything, right?
What's the name of it again?
I think Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Oh yeah, I'll get the name from it when we're done here because I want to try that. I'm trying to take me and my kids to all these spots.
Yeah, I did Longmire Trail, Mount Rainier, maybe a month ago. That's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I heard that was a good one.
Yeah.
I still haven't done Rattlesnake Ridge though. I know that's a popular spot.
Yeah.
I do want to do that though. But I like to go to trails that not too many people frequent because I just like to be by myself and just walk and get lost.
Yeah, one thing I try to do trails like on Thursday or Wednesday, right? Because you go on Saturday or Sunday, so the rest would be like, damn, no parking, no this, no that, It's insane.
Yeah. And also it's affordable too. I mean, going on a walk, you take it to exercise.
Yeah.
Because, gym prices, everything's going up. So if I could just get my little cardio in by going on a walk and not spend an extra $1 on it, then I'm going to do that.
And the gym is like all these, everyone's recording themselves in the gyms, right?
Yeah.
Who's trying to count, they fucking get mad at you. Like,
yeah, that happened to me at LA Fitness like 3 weeks ago. Like some dude had like 3 camera pods set up near his bench press. He was only benching like 135. Yeah, I was like, at least put on 3 plates if you're gonna record yourself. Like, make it worth it. You feel me? And I walked in front of him because I was gonna do some lat raises, dumbbell lat raises, and he was like, "Hey man, you might want to do my shot." And I just gave him a look because it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dude,
fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah, like fuck off, man. Like, what are we doing?
Like, is your last name Fitness?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Are
like,
you related to Miss LA Fitness?
Yeah, like what are we doing? And I don't understand. Like, no, I understand the celebrity culture that everybody feels like they can reach out to by becoming influencers, but now it's starting to interfere with everyday life. Have you ever like just drove around, walk around just the city, and you just see people rehearse skits?
Yeah,
and it's like it's such a weird thing just to be like just to witness.
It is.
It's like, this is where we at right now.
I know, of course, you got to start from somewhere, right? But sometimes it makes you laugh. These people, like, I'm an influencer. You have like 35 followers,
right?
Like, I know you got to build your stuff up, but you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and also my other question is, what are you influencing? What are you trying to influence people to do?
Yeah.
If you're an influencer, that means that there's a mission or there's a goal that you want to influence people to go towards. But what is that?
Yeah.
And I don't really hear that question get asked to people who want to be influencers. what are you trying to influence?
Yeah.
Like drinking, I'm gonna be under the influence of
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a
But
good
me
point.
watching your video, what I'm gonna be under the influence of by watching your videos.
Yeah.
So
So, you started something called the Seattle Urban Book Expo a while ago, right? Can you talk
yeah.
about that?
Oh man. The Seattle Urban Book Expo, it happened by accident. My journey as a self-published author, I write children's books. So I'm a self-published author writing children's books. And when I got started, I didn't know where to go to. I didn't know where to go to get the advice that
Were
I
you
need.
were you already an author before you started the expo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for 2 years prior to I started it. I published my first book in 2014 and I started at SUBE in 2016. Um, it took me about a year and a half to learn how to publish my own book because I did it the DIY route because I didn't know where to go to. There wasn't any information about self-publishing back then. So I had to learn it myself. And once I did, I published my first book, The Family Jones and the Eggs of Rex. Everybody liked it. And so I followed that up with my other book, which is called Why is Jane So Mad? And with Why is Jane So Mad, I heard that you needed to do a book launch party. And I was like, okay, cool. So I learned what that takes, what you need to have. But then I made a choice. Let me backtrack. When I self-published my first book, I was invited to go to a book expo out in Toronto, Canada. It was the Toronto Urban Book Expo. And shout out to my homegirl Stacy Marie Robinson. That's my homegirl now. She runs that out in Toronto, Canada. Went out there, loved the whole experience of the Toronto community. I learned about what Afro beats was, what soca music was, what calypso was. And I love that energy for that kind of book fair because typically book fairs are not as lively as what I experienced. So when I went out there, I had the idea of my book launch party for Why Is Jane So Mad to replicate what I experienced in Toronto. And so I asked Stacy, "Hey, do you mind if I call it the Seattle Urban Book Expo as with me paying homage and respect to what I experienced out here?" And she gave me my blessing. She gave me the blessing to say, "Yeah, you can call it Seattle Urban Book Expo," and that's how that happened. Went to Black Dot when the Black Dot office, which was on Union Street in the CD. Hosted it there. Invited 7 other authors to attend, and we had a great time. Had a great experience, and it was something that I didn't realize that the city and the community needed is to see Black authors in that in that light, and that's where it started from.
And I think if I remember correctly, when you started this, you had doubts of being able to find enough Black authors in the
Yeah,
city, right? Can you
yeah.
talk about that, how you found them, and how the process worked?
It's like the whole "if you build it, they will come." Because when I started, I didn't meet any other authors when I first got started. I was looking, Googling, YouTubing, searching, and all that. I didn't know any other local Black authors. But as soon as I came up with this idea to do the Seattle Urban Book Expo, then when I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for Black authors," then that's when I started meeting all the ones. Like Nari Osler, Emily Imani.
And these
Yeah,
authors, they're all kids authors. They could be any
no,
kind of any
different genres.
kind of genre. Okay.
Yeah, different. I wanted to have a spectrum. I wanted something for everybody to attend. Like I'll do children's books. Nari had a debut book. Uh, sorry, Nari, if I get the name wrong. It was Retribution was her book. It was like a fiction story. Um, had another lady. Her name was Kai Storm, which is like an erotica book. So I wanted to show that Black literature wasn't a monolith. I wanted to show that where we can like be in different genres too, and still be entertaining as well. And I was blessed to do that with the first Seattle Book Expo
And how many years has that been going on?
since 2016.
Okay, so
Oh,
every year.
shit, it's only 10 years. Oh God.
And is it in the same location each year?
No, it's different. I wanted to touch different spots of the city. The first one was at Black Dot, which was on 24th and Union at the time before the construction happened. The second one was at Washington Hall. The third one was at El Centro de la Raza or El Centilla Cultural Center. The fourth one was at Northwest African American Museum. The fifth one we went back to El Centilla, El Centro de la Raza, where we had a whole block party on Beacon Hill in partnership with the city of Seattle. And the sixth one, we had it at Axon Stage.
Okay.
So I'm taking a bit of a break because I just entered a partnership with Axon Stage Theater where we're going to be their literary department, and we're finalizing the terms and details of that. And we're gonna come back and do a children's book fair, a BIPOC children's book fair in December.
So, how do you decide to become an author? Was you always interested in like English literature and grammar as a kid growing up, or just one day you're like, I want to be an author.
Yeah.
Talk about that process.
That process, I've always wanted to tell stories. Like I'm not gonna come up here and kind of thing and lie to you saying that I'm some kind of literary or English language aficionado. I'm not. I just love telling stories. Um, when I was a kid, I grew up reading comic books thanks to my dad. My dad got me on Spider-Man, Batman, and Archie comic books.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
if like someone our age says they don't read never read comic books or don't like Spider Man, I can't trust you.
Yeah, I can't trust you.
I can't
I
trust
don't.
you.
We don't believe you.
Like you don't like Spider Man?
You're like you don't like any kind of
Yeah,
pictures. Like
yeah. I don't trust you.
just stop
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
trust you.
yeah. I grew up on that, especially Archie's. Like Archie comic books were my favorite comic books growing up as a kid. Are you know about Archie's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Veronica and
yeah.
what's the other one's name?
Betty,
Yeah, yeah,
Jughead, Reggie.
yeah,
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
I love that whole the Americana flavor that show, like the everyday kids
yeah.
going through everyday life stuff. I love that. So it was like I loved it so much. Like breakfast, I'll eat my food and read art, have a comic book in my hand, reading it at the table. Dinner, same thing. And when I went to John May Elementary School, and with language arts assignments, I would do it as a comic book form, like with the panels and stuff like that. And when I got to college, I was hurt, had like a separated shoulder or whatever. And I was watching The Lion King. Lion King's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I was like, I want to do that, like tell stories. I don't know what me watching. I watched The Lion King 1,000 times. I was like, I just want to do that. Let me tell a story. And at the time, I was helping teammates do their homeworks and stuff. I helped a couple of teammates do their English homework, so I got the thrill of writing from doing that again. And when I came back home, I found out I was going to be a father, and I made a promise with my daughter that I wanted to show her that it's okay to pursue your passions and dreams because I've always wanted to tell stories. Originally, I pursued writing movie scripts. Like I wanted to write a script, sell it, instant Hollywood fame and glory, right? Wealth and all that, you know. But it didn't work out. For years, I was shopping around the script, didn't know how to do that, and kept meeting a couple of actors, but they kept trying to steal it. Kept like, "Hey, just give it to me," and I'll play. So I was like, "I
Yeah,
don't. That don't make no
yeah,
sense to
no.
me." So when my daughter was 4, she wanted a dinosaur book, and I took her to the Barnes and Noble in South Center. And when we went inside, I was looking at all the covers of the children's books. I didn't see my kid anywhere. And then the light bulb went off. I'll write her a book. I'll write her a children's book. No clue how to do that. And that's where, like earlier I was talking about the year and a half, 2 year process of me finding that out because I wanted to write my daughter a children's book because I wanted cool dad.
And what year was this?
This is 2012.
2012.
2012, and I published The Family Jones and Eggs and Rex in 2014.
I think that's a pretty quick process, isn't it? Just 2 years. I have no idea.
No, it's long because I had no clue what I was doing.
Okay.
And now I could just do a quick turnaround with a book now because I know the process now. But people need, I think people forget how niche of a market self-publishing was 10 years ago. It wasn't like it was today where it's so easy. There's so many applications. There's so many organizations that do it. 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, it was frowned on to be a self-published author because it looked like you were an amateur. You're not professional. Like, why would I do that? But now it's such a market that's beneficial to everybody now. It's popular. But 10, 12 years ago, no. You don't do that. Everybody wanted to go through Penguin Random House or Simon Schuster. But now I love seeing where it's at right now.
So the characters in your book,
Mhm.
like, can you talk about like, are they based on different people? Can you just talk about how you come up with character development, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. The characters I write are based off experiences that I want the reader to have. So with Why Is Jane So Mad? The story is about Chad and his best friend Jane. Jane is upset because her father's away in the military, hasn't come back home yet. So Chad wants to cheer up Jane. So the intent behind Why Is Jane So Mad was back in 2016 when I wrote it. I wanted to show a story about a boy and a girl friendship that isn't romantic because I noticed that with children's books, wherever there's a male to female dynamic, there has to be some inkling of like a crush, a like, and blah, 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 blah. I didn't grow up like that. I literally have homegirls who I would consider my sisters. They're not blood, but they're like my sisters. Nothing else, nothing like that. So that's reality that we all experience when we have women that are just friends and they're like the best friends in the world. And at the time, I didn't see that in books. I didn't like that. I don't know why it irked me of that was like that had to be implied that if you see a boy and a girl on the same page or on the same stage, there has to be a romantic tension. That's not reality. And also too, I've always noticed too when I was reading books that the boy was always the bully of the girl in children's books. He was the antagonizer. He'll throw gum at her, throw a bouncy ball at her. But I wanted to show a boy being a friend, being a kind person. And so that's an example of the experience that I wanted to express.
So, is there any plan to get outside the genre of children's books, right? Different subjects.
Absolutely. Man, I've been stuck on this chapter book for about 4 years now. I'm working on a series about pirates, about Afro Caribbean pirates. It's like a sci-fi fantasy. I've been stuck on it for 4 years. I'm like beat myself up over it, but the story is so rich. I'm still piecing it together, and so I can finally complete it. But I do because originally my plan was to write a book that matches my daughter's age because my daughter was my target audience. My daughter's about to be 15, 16 now, and her ass is reading romance novels.
Yeah.
So I'm not writing a romance novel, absolutely not. But it's time to me to grow out of that and also to challenge my creativity and my artistry too. So yeah, that's a goal.
Are there any authors that you like? I won't say emulate, but any authors like you kind of base your writing off of? Like, man, I like the way this guy writes, this girl writes.
Um, authors, um, actually, no, not authors. It actually is screenwriters from films. Like I love the way Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino write movies. I love the passion that Ryan Coogler has that he expressed in his characters. Oh no, my favorite all time book is The Giver by Lois Lowry. And my intent and the way I try to do, like I write my books, is I want to make it simple to understand, but you feel the impact of the world that's being built. And that's what I felt like with that book, The Giver.
So for back to your book expos,
Yeah.
all the goals are there like to increase like black authorship for people in Seattle, just increase black readership, or is it another goal?
All the above. I want to increase the black and brown literature ecosystem. I just want to everything and all the everything and everything included with that, whether it's authors, writers, editors, peer readers, beta readers, bookstores, libraries. The intent for the Seattle Urban Book Expo was to provide a platform for black and brown authors to showcase their literary art. That was the intent, and I love seeing where it's going now, where we have bookstores popping up throughout the state. You know, you got the Loving Room. Shout out to Christina. You got Parable. Shout out to them. You have another one that's in Pike Place, which I'm so sorry I forgot the name of it, but it's in Pike Place Market, and also Estelitas Libraries, which is a social justice bookstore. I love seeing the growth of that, and that's why whenever I'm asked, I always do my part to help out to raise the awareness of these places, raise the awareness of the authors, and give an opportunity for people who haven't written a book, give them a chance to do it.
How do you do this, right? Like you do you next book expo, whatever it is. How do you make sure someone like wants to be in this action author, right? How do you vet them? Like make sure some like, lack of better term frauds don't come up.
Oh man.
I'm sure you get them.
I do. I've gotten a couple. I just have a conversation with them, and I've learned that if you let people talk long enough, they'll tell you the truth. And I don't like. And my thing is, I don't try to come across as like a gatekeeper or an expert. I'm just a dude that wants to have a good time. The way I do my expos is, if you trust me enough to pay a vendor fee or to pay to be a part of the event, I'm gonna give you the best opportunity possible to be successful, whether it's meeting or networking with people in the community who are a part of the book community, or you selling the amount of books you need to make your money back from what you spent to get a vendor table. So that's my promise to everybody who is a vendor at my events.
There's a plan to like go to different cities in the future, like almost like a
Yeah,
franchise model.
yeah, travel like a traveling circus. I'm trying to be like a, a upbeat version of the Scholastic Book Fair.
Okay.
Like I want that to happen because where everything is going on, the world is turning towards, AI, science and all that stuff. People still have an affinity for books, and I want to do my part to keep that happening because there's nothing like the escapism you feel when you immerse yourself in a story. Nothing like it.
Is there like a typical career path for a book writer? Or is this off this different place?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Like my career, my path is not typical. Started off as a college football player, grew up in the Central District area, read comic books about an all white school that I love so much. Went to a school in the Bay Area, got hurt, watched a Disney all time classic movie, and got the urge to create again. And then when I became a father, I wanted to write children's books at 6'2", 300 pounds and break the stigma.
So for each of your books, like I'll make this up for you. You write your next book, right? When you
Yeah.
start the book, do you have like, do you start as a goal in mind? Like when people read this book, I want them to feel like X, or I want to do X. Is there like a certain goal for each book?
Yeah, so I have a model. You ever heard of the hero's journey formula? So, I mean, there's many different variations of that formula, but I came up with my own, and it helps me out a lot to map out my stories. It's someone looking for something and is having difficulty finding it, and that difficulty finding it is the obstacle or the climax that needs to happen in the story, and that's what I base my storytelling off of, and also what I want the readers to have a conversation about, because I always try to have a universal message with the stories that I write, that it's not just a race thing, it's about a human thing, it's a human experience. It's so to the point where you can, all my characters are Black, African American, or BIPOC, but you can easily, substitute them with a white person and the message will still be the same.
So when you start to write a book,
Yeah.
is the goal, I'm making this up, is the goal, is like, suppose you have your idea of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Is it to like, as soon as that goal is met, it could be done in 20 pages. It's done in 20 pages. Or is the goal like, I need to write a 300-page book and make it fill 300 pages?
I got you. If I decide to write a book or a novel, it has to be a certain word count, a certain page count. And that's why I use the Hero's Journey formula to help structure how to not stretch it out, but how to make the story flow enough so that way it does fit 300 pages, 400 pages. But it just depends on what kind of genre I want to write to. But yeah, there's a discipline that comes with that.
All right. Mm-hmm. And next, I think, remember you wrote your first book, you found out you needed a publisher or illustrator editor. Can you talk about how you found these people and the process for finding them and vetting them?
Oh, man. You remember Craigslist? That was a gold mine back in the day. So I found my first illustrator, Sean Crumb. I found him off Craigslist because I didn't know where to go. I mean, I tried to go to Hugo House, but it didn't help. It didn't help me out at the time. So I went on Craigslist, and I was just, it was children's book illustrators, and I had a list of all these people. And then when I saw Sean Crumb, I liked what he did. I liked the way he illustrated.
Like spoke to you?
Yeah, he spoke to me. Yeah, and so I reached out to him, and he lived in, I want to say, Cleveland, Ohio. I was like, oh man, how's this going to work? We're not in Washington. I was hoping to find somebody in Seattle so I can just go to the coffee shop and do it. But he was in Cleveland, Ohio. But I was like, okay, I want to make this work. I like this guy. Let me just trust the process. He told me his rate, and he did his thing, and that's how I did that the first time.
And you still use him for all your books?
I've been spoken to Sean since, but shout out to him. No issues. I just moved on.
Okay.
But the next time, my second book, Why Is Jane So Mad, I went on Instagram and I found Ebony Glenn, and she's a well-known author, artist now, doing really great work. And I found on Instagram, same thing. She's based off Atlanta, Georgia. So I was like, okay, I've done this before. I've worked with people out of state, and worked with her and did Why Is Jane So Mad? And I'm so grateful for her for doing that. And then my third and fourth book, which is High Blue Sky and What Happened with Charlie McClare, I met Instagram again. I met a woman named Johanna Pacula who lives in France. So I've never had an illustrator that lives here. So all my illustrators have always been out of the state or out of the country. And I feel like it holds me accountable to make sure that I get this process done, because I can't just roll up on them. So
here's one for you.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a former football player, a Black man, a parent, an author, an actor, entrepreneur, or something totally different, or some kind of combination of all the above?
I'm all those things, because all those things led me to this point today. Like, all my experiences as a Black man helped guide me in my decisions to become an artist. How I express my art is, I wear it because of my history. Me being a football player has had an impact on me being an actor. I'm all those things. I didn't know I was going to be on this road. Like, it's a weird thing to experience, because I grew up, it was all sports, football, baseball, basketball. And then when I got to high school, I got bit by the theater bug, but I didn't want to express it, because at the time you couldn't be multifaceted. Yeah. You couldn't be a Renaissance person growing up when I was growing up.
You're an actor. You're one of those fruity football players.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Fruity football players.
Like, oh, you fruity. Are you trying to be stage? Are you trying to wear them tights, them little leotards, bro? And and that was a real thing back then. Yeah. I didn't want to get mocked or, looked at as weak, but I always would sneak in. Mm-hmm. And I went to Franklin High School, and the theater teacher was Miss Smith.
Yeah.
And she'll have theater sports. So when I would skip class, I skip class. I would sneak in and look behind and just watch. them do their theater stuff and be yearning to get on the stage,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to be called fruity.
Yeah.
So,
Or probably a worse term back in those
way
days.
worse that would get us canceled today. So,
Big voice. As
yeah,
so I know if you're like a author writing novels, you can be on the top 10s, New York top 10. You want all kind of like Nobel Prizes and stuff like that.
I want all that.
Can you do that as a children's author? Is there,
Yeah, you can.
okay.
You can. It's a selection process, and also it's about timing too.
Mhm.
Just like with the algorithms to be an Amazon bestseller and New
Yeah.
York Times bestseller, it's about the timing of when you drop the book
Mhm.
and also what else is going on. Um, you could be a New York Times bestseller if you sell 5,000 copies the first week,
Yeah.
or you could be a New York Times bestseller if you sell 300 copies one
Yeah.
week. It's just based on what's happening at
And is
that
that
moment.
based on genre too? Like, can you be top 10 in like a space drama, top 10 in murder mystery,
Yeah,
top 10 in romance?
yeah, it's based off genre. It's
Okay.
based on genre, and also what's popular, what's going on with that genre. Yeah.
Can you do this? Like, suppose someone came to you, like, man, like, I really like your writing style, but I'm going to write a book on, I don't know, space invasions of Jupiter in the year 2121.
Yeah.
Can you like just take that and write a book about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. I can write about anything
Okay.
because I have my principles and my disciplines
Mhm.
on how to construct a story. That just has to make sense to me though.
Yeah.
Like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if is the invasion of Jupiter a message about being proud where you came from? Like,
Mhm.
what are we talking
Okay.
about here? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I got it.
Because I don't like stories that just are there just cause. I like stories that speak to me as a human. That somebody could take away from.
Have you ever done like ghostwriting for people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
How does that work? Like someone just gives you like a short story of their life and you just take it from there? Like how do you
Yeah,
implement that?
I have different tiers. So one, I just write the story for you, and then we sign a contract or an agreement where I just release all ownership of it, and you pay me a fee. I could be a co-author where I fill in the blanks of what you can't fill or what you can't say. I'll fill it in for you. And then I know what is I coach too. So let's say you want to write a book, and you just want me to help guide you about how to construct the story, how to format the sentences or the paragraphs. I do that too. But ghostwriting, people just ask me. It's like very word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like I don't have it on my website. People just ask me, and I tell them, give them my rates, and then yeah.
And so how do you keep this happening? This happened a long time ago. So Charles Barkley wrote a book, right? But it's ghostwritten, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then of course there's some of the book that Charles Barkley knows the book.
Yeah.
He's like I didn't say that. Charles, this is your book. My ghostwriter, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you keep that like just totally taken over, so to speak? Make sure what needs to be,
I tell the people that I've worked with who I've ghostwritten for, read what I wrote.
Yeah, read it.
Because if you're going to promote it,
yeah.
you need to know what's in it. Because I know it's hard for a person who doesn't like to read to start reading. And typically people who hire ghostwriters normally don't like to read.
Yeah.
They just wanted to put something out there as part of their brand or to promote something.
Yeah.
So I tell the people that I work with, like, make sure you read the book or the story that I've written for you at least a couple of times so you're familiar with what's going on in case you're asked about it.
Yeah. How many times have you done that?
I've ghostwritten 5 children's books.
Okay.
And I've ghostwritten 2 chapter books.
I mean, don't tell the details, but is that pretty lucrative for you as far as financial stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It and also it's good. Sorry, I need to get some water. Sorry. Well, how I look at it is it keeps my mind sharp. It's like practice and training.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So next, you talk about having people write books. You have a workshop called We Finna Write This Book.
Yeah.
Is that like a monthly workshop? Once a balloon?
It's a quarterly workshop. We finna. I named it that because of that's how I talk. That's how I grew up talking. We finna go here. We finna go there. We finna do this. We finna do that. We finna the Writers Workshop series, and there's 3 of them. Is we finna write this book, we finna publish this book, and we finna sell this book. And it's just based on all the knowledge and work I've accumulated throughout the years of me going through the trial and error. And I decided to create a workshop series for those that want to publish their book to come to my workshop and learn how to do it. We finna write this book. I'm taking your idea and turn it into a novel, a 30 chapter novel. We finna publish this book. I tell you the pros and cons between traditional publishing and self-publishing, the good and bad and ugly that comes along with that, the things you're gonna need. And one of the phrases I say in my We Finna Publish This workshop is, it's easier to sell it when you own it. And I'm talking about the legalities, like the publishing rights, the copyright, the trademarks, all that stuff that people who get into this industry don't know about because you just want to write a book. And people still don't view publishing book as a business because it's not a business that is normally spoke about. It's not talked about the ins and outs of the industry. We finna sell this book. I just share my tactics how I sell my books. I've sold to date 14,000 copies of all my books. You know, on a larger scale of things, that's not a lot compared to like the
But you pretty much get all the funds because you're self-published, right?
yeah.
So not like you went through like Penguin House, they get like 80%.
No,
You get most of it, right?
yeah, I get most of it. Yeah, 70%.
So that's
So
like the old school where like when like before Master P started selling records out of the album, record companies got like 80%, Master P got like 95%.
yeah,
Make more money by selling less albums. So with you, you make more money by selling less books, I would think.
yeah. And like with self-publishing, you get up to 70% of royalties. And with traditional publishing, depending on who you work with, you get between 8 to 15% of your royalties. But you have a larger network of people that you have access to if you're traditionally published versus self-published, because you have to develop and build that network yourself versus working with a publishing house that's been around for since 1890, who's established their ecosystem.
You've done five books so far.
I've done five books and one comic book.
So have you found, you might not track this, but have you found like I'll make this up. Like from book one to book two, 80% of people rebought it. Book three, 80% rebought. Like, do you see you have repeat customers to all the books?
Yeah, that's my weak point is tracking.
Okay.
Because my approach has always been whoever wants to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to implement the business aspect of it like now of customer details,
That means something
demographic.
good. Like like I bought your book today.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, I have a new book coming out. Your preferred customer is 10%
Yeah.
off or something like that. You know, well, I don't know.
Yeah. I have a newsletter that I send out like once every week if whatever I've got coming up, whether it's a book event, whether it's an event that I'm hosting, or whether the book is coming out, or a book I'm recommending. I do have a newsletter.
So if this thing we finna write this book, is a certain age requirement? Like you have to be a 10 and above to be there, 13 above, or anyone?
Anyone.
Okay.
I've had I collaborated with the Seattle Public Library. I hosted two of the workshops at the Douglas Truth Library in the Central District, and I had kids in that class for we finna write this book. So it's just whoever wants to write a book and you believe that I have some valuable to teach you, sign up.
And for these finna you write your book workshops, is it like do you pay a fee for them to come, or they rather book you the percentage of sales from it? Like how do you make money? Or is it? Or
It's a fee.
Oh, this is just a terrible thing. So it's a fee.
It's a fee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 25.
Okay.
25 per person.
Okay.
You know, an investment in me, and I invest my knowledge into you. So it's $25 per person. And I'm on my third one right now. I'm about to pick a date for we finna sell this book.
And you change this at a different locations too?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one we finna sell this. We finna sell this book's gonna be at the Scene in South Park coffee shop.
You ever do anything down in Tacoma?
I need to. I've been asked that a lot to go to Tacoma, but I wouldn't. I would love to go to Tacoma because
Okay.
that's where Parable is, and I've worked with Parable a couple of times already, with different things. They're great.
So next, I can't remember. I found this. That was internet, but it said is it just SUBE?
Mm-hmm.
Founder Jeffrey Cheatham initiates Seattle's first ever children's book day.
Oh, um, I had a BIPOC Children's Book Day at Town Hall Seattle. It was the first BIPOC Children's Book Fair. And shout out to Town Hall Seattle for allowing us to host it there. I just want to, I'm a children's book author, so I just felt that it'll be dope to have a book fair that celebrates Black and Brown children's book authors and Black and Brown children's books. And we did that in December 2023. Yeah, December 2023, and we did it again in May 27, 2023, as well. So yeah, that was a great time. Got partnership with Como, Town Hall Seattle. The Seahawks looked out for us, and we had about 16 to 20 authors, all writing children's books, including two kids, two adorable little girls, Sanaya Parrott and Sana Vanuth, two 8-year-old and 10-year-olds, I want to say.
So when you write your book, you have to be like, you need like a lot of like TV on, stereo on, a lot of music going on, a bunch of noise, or you have to be like in like a contained, no noise, no video, just like you and your book writing and no distractions.
No, I love noise because I feel like the vibe I have when I'm writing is gonna show itself on the book. I've written all my children's books at a coffee shop, at the station coffee shop. Like all my children's books I wrote at the station coffee shop on Beacon Hill. And if people know that coffee shop, it's very active. And yes, I wrote books there. So, because that energy I get from that place, it's evident in my writing.
And what's the right process? Is like you like write like 4 straight hours? Do you write for 20 minutes, get up, walk around? Like what's that process?
I was struggling with that. I thought you had. I'm gonna schedule out 2 hours a day. It was based how I feel. Like if I can only do a page one day, I'll do a page. But if I'm in the writing groove and can knock out 10 pages, I'll do 10 pages. It's based on what I'm feeling and what I have to say at that moment. It's really based on that. It's very up and down. You know, all I know is I want to write something today. So I'll sit there, look at the paper, and write it, and I'll just let my pen keep going if it wants to keep going. I don't really have a particular set hour of how many hours I should be doing it.
Does like the way you feel, like the mood you're in, like suppose you're angry, you write better. You're
Mm.
sad, you write angry. Does that have any impact?
Yeah, it does. When I'm like turned up, yeah. When I'm angry, happy, sad, or I have something I want to say based on what I've experienced or what I'm experiencing, I'll write. It helps out. It really triggers something. It does.
And how do you come up with ideas? Like you might be somewhere, an idea comes up, just put it on your phone or something. Like how do you do idea generation?
Yeah. So I'll tell you how I came up with what happened with Charlie McClare. Um, it was during the whole Mike Brown situation, and I remember that interview with that cop that killed Mike Brown. I don't know if that was just my imagination or my hallucination or it's what he actually said. But while I was watching this interview, he said something like he felt like Mike Brown was a big bear. And I was just like, this is a grown police officer, man, calling this kid a bear. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make bears look harmless then. Since you know you think bears are intimidating, I'm gonna make a bear look harmless. And that's where
I
it's
mean, a real ass bear is fucking
yeah, I
intimidating.
realize bear is
Yeah,
intimidating, but in
but a human being, no, no.
yeah, yeah, but what happened with Charlie McClare, Claire the bear, what happened with Charlie McClare is a story about Charlie the canary is flying through a forest and he meets Claire the bear, and Claire the bear teaches Charlie how to not judge animals by their appearance. And that story was inspired by the whole Mike Brown situation. So stuff like that is what would activate me writing. It's
So
like,
so you do like writing ideas like 24/7, always coming in
oh,
like different
absolutely,
ideas.
yeah.
So how do you like decipher? This might be one to follow up. This one's like this is like too fucking crazy to write about. Like, how do you do that?
How I do that, I based on what's going on around the time and what is contemporary and what needs to be said for me. Um, you know, I wouldn't write what happened with Charlie McClare right now because that's not what's going on right now. Even though it's still on the undertones of American society, the whole Mike Brown stuff with police brutality and all that. But I wouldn't come out with that right now. I'll just base it off of what I want to say, and I'll just use the story and characters to convey my message.
So what's a book you want to write about? Say it's like passion project, has nothing to do with making money. The societal stuff has nothing to do with anything. It's just a book that you want to write. But you know what? I maybe not need to write this because I'm not gonna make any money. It's not really worth it. But what's a book like you just want to write just for the fun of it, so to speak?
Man, I want to write. I should have this copywritten first. I do want to get more into the fantasy sci-fi genre, but I want to make it grounded though. I don't want to be too over the top about it. Like I told you, I'm writing a story about pirates, Afro-Caribbean pirates. Um, I'm a big fan of mafia, Italian mob documentaries and movies. I love Goodfellas, love The Godfather. I don't know why. I think it's because of the power, the hierarchy of the Italian mob, gangsters, all that stuff. Like I love watching. There was a show that came out on the channel Spike called Gangland, where they do like a documentary style following of like different gangs around America and how big, bad, crazy, and dangerous they are. I love watching that stuff. So maybe a story, something along the line about gang life, mob life, but make it fantasy based. So yeah.
So next, talk about your partnership with Nintendo. How'd that come about?
Oh, so as an actor, um, I'm I'm signed through TCM Models and Talents. I've been acting. I've been seriously acting since 2018.
Mhm.
Stage theater. My path has led me to perform in Copious Love Productions, Langston Hughes, Acts on Stage Theater. I really didn't, learn my craft for real until I got to Acts on Stage Theater. So shout out to Michelle Lang Raymond and Isaiah Anderson Jr. and the whole Acts on Stage family. They really taught me what being an actor is all about. The show that I was casted in for Acts on Stage was called Pipeline. Pipeline is a great story. It's a story about the how the school and prison pipeline is affected by the relationships of the everyday people associated with it. When I did that show, a person that knows me recommended me to a talent agent at TCM Models and Talents. They did, email. It was like, hey, we heard about you. Let's meet up. I went over there and did an audition for them. They liked what I did and they signed me. And it's been fantastic work for them so far. And with the Nintendo job, they just told me that Nintendo was going to do a commercial, and they're looking for people, and to go to open call. Went to open call, thousands of people there,
Yeah.
thousands
Yeah.
of
Of
people.
course. Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't gonna get this damn
Yeah.
role. And the thing that messed me up, right? One of the requirements was you had to wear a all white T-shirt. I didn't have an all white T-shirt, so I literally had to stop by a local convenience store mart and buy a T-shirt. I was almost late to the open call, so I put my name down, went around the corner, put the T-shirt on, and then they called me. But one good thing about it, somebody heard say, "Aren't you Jeff?" I was like, "Yeah." No, they just called you. Oh shoot! So good thing that person told me that, otherwise I'd have missed it. Went in there, did the audition, and a couple of weeks went by, and they told me that I got it, and they wanted me to film, and we filmed a bunch of stuff and took some pictures. So
So
yeah,
only thing I saw were you like with the Nintendo control. Was there other stuff that's out there that
yeah, Nintendo Switch. It was a couple of games that I was playing. They had us film. I was actually playing the games too because typically they were asking me if I knew how to play, and I was like, man, shoot, I'm a kid from the '90s, but they're
yeah.
like, come on now.
Yeah.
So I was literally playing the game as they were still setting up the film, and I was in the zone playing
Yeah.
the new Mario Super Mario World
Yeah.
Wonder. I was just playing it, and they were just and literally those shots and those videos of me playing was just really me playing,
Yeah.
and it just caught me in the moment
Okay.
because I like this childhood stuff. Like I can do this, you know.
So how's it work for you getting paid? Like the talent agency gets the 80%, you get 20%. How's that cut work?
They do get a percentage, but it's not like that though.
Okay. Pretty more kind of more
It's,
fair.
it's just way more fair. It's way more fair than that.
And by belonging to talent agency, they give you like a retainer fee each month. They pay money each month, or you only
Yeah,
get paid when you go do something.
it depends on the job.
Okay.
It depends like it's of the job. If there is a residual,
Mhm.
you get a residual, or if it's just like a one time payment, you get a one time payment. This is based on the job.
Have you ever done anything else for them besides the Nintendo?
Yeah, I did another commercial for the Washington State Health Authority. It was a social media ad, and they renewed the contract, so now it's played on local television. So
Okay.
it's in local commercials right now.
Okay.
And also, I've done a lot of fit modeling stuff, for different companies like golf apparel or just sportwear and things like that.
How about this? Suppose the agency comes to you and say, "What we do a ad for this," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm not down with that." Can you tell them no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the right to refusal. Like
Okay.
I'm not required to do every single job they come across. They'll
Okay.
just let me know, hey, there's an opportunity for this.
Mhm.
Do you want this? And I got a right to turn it down, decline it or not.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. So how did the acting bug start? That came after being an author, right?
Yeah, but I've always wanted to.
Back to
Like,
high school, yeah.
back in high school, and also back as a kid, like Batman. I would have my coat over my head, and I'm Batman with the cape and all that stuff.
So it made
Like,
you finally like jump in the water, so to speak, and start doing this after all
uh,
these years.
man, 2017, I was making my rounds as a children's book author, and my homegirl, Marie Cadet, was like, hey, there's this stage reading at Langston Hughes called Every 28 Hours. I was like, oh, I'm not an actor. She's like, no, it's a stage reading. You'll have your script on stage. I was like, okay. And they gave me the script. It was about 80 of us. So there was that many people. I'm sorry. It was 20, but it was 81-minute shorts every 28 hours, all highlighting racism, police brutality, and all that. And so when it happened, I got on stage and we had a good, nice crowd. I had the script, and one of my scenes was interacting with this with a white guy about what happened in the past, we're in the future now. Him and I was doing our scene, and I noticed the reaction from the crowd. And something about that was like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of playing sports, right? Like I played a defensive tackle, so I make a tackle behind the sprint line of scrimmage. You get the reaction from the crowd, that whole gladiator thing.
Yeah.
And when I did the play at Langston Hughes, that's why I was like, I remembered that I did want to do this when I was a kid, and I've already achieved more than I thought I would as a children's book author. So that the whole doubt thing doesn't exist no more. Let me pursue acting. Let me see, right? But I was still scared because back then I was in my early mid 30s, typically supposed to be young when you first start, right? So I was like, let me try it. And fortunately enough for me, I had a homegirl, Aviana Rodriguez Brown, who was directing a play called Hypotheticals at Copious Love Productions. And she's been a big supporter of me since day one. And she was like, hey, I'm about to direct this play. I want you to be in it. And I was like, is it a stage reading? She was like, no. I was like, oh, damn. I don't know. I got to memorize my lines. She's like, yeah. And so she cast me in this play, Hypotheticals, where I played David, where I wanted to be a school teacher. I was a janitor at a Montessori school, and my aspiration was to be a school teacher. And I had a bad interaction with the person I work with. And the whole process, rehearsals, learning about character, finding your voice, I loved it. And then I took what I learned from being an author and applied it to acting by just DIY, doing it yourself because I didn't go to a acting workshop, or acting class. So I use YouTube and Google again.
YouTube
Yeah,
University.
YouTube University, it's free, no college debt. And after the performance, I loved what I felt again. And years passed, right? And I still had it. And then Acts on Stage, a black-owned theater company, launched in 2020 during the pandemic, and they had their premiere show was 12 Angry Men. And I was like, okay, well, there's 12 male parts. And if I can't,
I can get one.
I can get one. If I don't get one, maybe I shouldn't do this no more, right? So when I auditioned, I got the role, and that's when I knew, oh, hell yeah, I want to do this. I love this feeling.
And how old were you in 2017 when you start doing this? Like, for real?
For real, so it's 27 years ago, 31,
31.
32.
Can you talk about lessons learned that people can get from you as far as like, a lot of people like, I'm too old to start this, Like one time I was on social media, this guy was 55 years old,
Yeah.
learned how to skateboard, like making fun of like, dude, I'm 55, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Like,
Yeah,
can you just talk about like doing what the fuck you want to do and don't listen to critics or the naysayers, like do it.
yeah. My thing is, just like you said, I don't give a fuck. Like the older I got, the less fuck I'm giving. Because it's like I've done everything, I've made it here. Like I've had so many friends, so many people I love and care for, they ain't here no more. And the fact that I know for a fact most of them had things that they wanted to do, but they didn't get around to it because they felt like they had enough time. Like, oh, I'll get around to it, I have time. And now they're not here no more. I don't want that to be me. I don't want my experiences to be like the whole shoulda, coulda, woulda, or like, I mean, life is life. You don't know what might happen. I might get in a car accident and I'm paralyzed. I might get hit with some kind of viral infection and I'm blind, God forbid, but that's how life works. That happens all the time. So I don't want to have regrets. And right now, all I'm doing right now is making the childhood version of Jeff happy because all the things I wanted to do in my childhood, I'm starting to do that right now. I wanted to be an actor. I want to be an entertainer. I want to be a storyteller. I'm exercising all those things right now. And so for everybody that's my age, I'm 38, do it. Who cares? Yeah, I'm 38 years old. I ain't never been 38 before. I don't know how you supposed to be when you're 38. There ain't no manual about age. You know what I'm saying? Like your age is predicated on how you feel. And I know growing up, a lot of people acted mature. A lot of people acted all adultish, but I don't want to have no regrets. I love feeling free and young. I love feeling this life. You know what I'm saying?
Is
So,
it funny? The older you get, the more you realize that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
exactly.
Like you're a kid, adults have all figured out. No one has to figure out.
I'm looking at all my uncles and aunties like, y'all really didn't know what the hell y'all were doing, but y'all were trying now. So yeah.
So is one of your goals to be like write a novel and then play the title character in a movie?
Yeah. So one of my goals, I'll speak it right now because I do believe in manifestation, but manifestation through work though. You can't just speak it; you got to do it. I want to be in a play, in act theater, the contemporary theater, which is downtown. I want to be a production there. I want to be a production at the Seattle Rep Theater, and I do want to write a chapter book, a novel. I can't dictate what happens with the chapter book. I just want to write it, publish it, and have it out there.
Is there a difference between the way like actors, like acting methods or way you prepare to act between like doing like TV, movies versus theater, or is acting?
Um, yeah, there's a difference because I have done background work at like TV shows. Like I did background work for Three Busy Debras for Cartoon Network. So I have been on a Hollywood set. And the thing with TV shows and movies is it's a lot of hurry up and wait because a lot of the times, like a lot of sets, it takes a lot of time for the crew to set up a shot. And it takes like 4 hours to set up a shot that only takes 30 seconds. And you set up a camera this angle, you do the scene 3 times, okay, cut. And then they move the camera and do the same scene 3 times, cut. And then
and you have to bring the same energy.
you got to be the same energy and you got to like move the same way. Like you can't use this arm and then the next scene. And then when they switch the camera shot, you do this arm because they have somebody there that is I forgot the name of the person, but they make sure everything is working in sync, like it's cohesiveness or whatever. It's hard to wait with film and movies. Theater, it's game time.
Yeah.
Like you rehearse all those months, but when it's time for show, you have to hit it straight through. Like it because you got live people watching you. You can't say, oh, time out, I need to take a break to get myself. No, you got to be like there. So you got to be more in the moment on stage than you do in theater because more on stage than you do in film and TV shows because TV shows you do have cut. You can go
Yeah.
and get yourself together and come back. But theater,
You be like, oh, shit, I forgot my lines.
yeah,
Let's redo it.
yeah. Or I forgot my lines. Let me go. Hold on. Give me the script real quick.
Yeah.
To be or not to be. But in theater, you can't do that when the show starts. You gotta. So I think I love the intensity of preparation that comes with theater more than it does with film and TV.
Is there like a bucket list of place you want to perform at, like Broadway or like Madison Square Garden or something like that?
Honestly, dude, I really Seattle rep
Mhm.
or act theater because that's where I'm from. I've seen those places. Hell, Shot in the Dark, Fifth Avenue Theater. If I can hit all three of those spots, I'm good. If somebody from Broadway wants to do it, of course I'm gonna take the
Yeah.
opportunity. But my sights on all those three places is act theater, Seattle rep theater, and Fifth Avenue Theater because to me that represents that I truly do belong. That I truly do belong here because 5 years ago, I had no idea that this would even be like possible that I'll like be able to grace those wonderful places and productions.
So like, of course, I think people think of Broadway as like the king, queen of the Broadway
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how is like from your point of view, how is the Seattle theater thing seen? Is it coming up? Is like new? Talk about that.
Oh man, I'm learning more about it. It's prestigious too because a lot of cats from New York come over here to be a part of productions over here in Seattle. Um, a lot of people from out of state fly over here like frequently to get a part of it, and if people get part of productions, Fifth Avenue Theater, Seattle Rep, or Act Theater, they'll end up moving here because they see that the opportunity here is just as vast as Broadway. But even though Broadway is Broadway, there's like it's the whole prestige of it. But they realize too that Seattle has a great theater scene as well because of the storytelling that comes along with it. So it's very competitive too, is what I've learned, and that's why I'm very grateful for the path I've taken to learn the skills I've learned, so that way I feel comfortable and confident to know that I belong on those stages too.
How about this? Like, of course, don't say no names. But suppose you like return rehearsal. How fast does it take you? Like, someone's rehearsing, right? You're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this person's pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh my goodness, this person must have no friends that let him get up here and do this, right? How fast does that take someone to figure out?
Oh, for me, right away,
Okay.
you can tell, and it's all about your effort and your intensity and your preparation. I can tell if you prepare for it
Mhm.
or not,
Okay.
if you take it seriously or not. So yeah, it's right away.
Is anyone in Seattle or anywhere that you have not worked with yet, and as far as acting, you want to work with?
I want to work with Omar. Shanice Omar, she's a lesson to me. Um, um, honestly, outside of this, Shanice, I just want to work with quality people, just quality actors. If you know how to tell a story, I would want to work with you. But Shanice is the one that I'm gonna say I want to be on stage with her.
So you're an author and an actor.
Mhm.
Is the way you improve your craft as an author like the same process as improving your craft as an actor? Or is like two different processes to prove what you're doing?
It's the same thing because I didn't realize I was doing this as an author until I became an actor. I embody the story I'm trying to tell because as an actor, I'm a vessel for the story. I'm a spoke in the wheel of the story that's being told on stage. I try to do the same thing with the stories that I write. I want to embody it. I want to be physical. Like if I'm writing a paper, I might, do this. So it's the same principles, except I'm being more physical with the theater than I do with the book.
What's a story out there that you want to be an actor in that that might be out of your comfort zone, so to speak?
A story.
That you might not usually do is outside your comfort zone.
I want to do Midsummer Night's Dream, and I want to play Puck,
Okay.
like the king of the fairies. Like I just want to do that because I know the high school Jeff would cringe
Uh-huh.
at doing that, but now grown adult Jeff would love to take that challenge of playing Puck of Midsummer Night's Dream. Um, also, it's more about content matter too, like something that deals with family dynamics or tragedies or some kind of like Phantom of the Opera or Hamlet or something. I think it's more about the story itself than the actual role. But the role I would love to play that I know would be like, oh my God, but I'll do it would be Puck.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the type role that you will not play?
The type of role I will not play. Um, I don't want to do anything that's like criminal,
Okay.
like nothing like that, because this you see that image of black men all the time. So I'm like that market is buried, dead. Criminal, hood, any of those negative, typical media stereotypes of black men. week. I'm not doing none of that.
So I found this somewhere. I think I don't remember where I found it, but it says I think it's a play you're in.
Mhm.
Brown Bodies on Blue Earth, directed by Broderick Grimes, premiering at the Upperground
Mm.
Theater back on April. Was it back on April 18th?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's this year that happened.
Yeah, no, it's like right now.
It's going on
Like,
right
so
now.
yeah, I got a show tonight.
Okay,
And
okay,
yeah.
so talk about that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Let's
Brown
plug that real fast.
well, thank you so much for that. Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth, written by Chris Eli Black, directed by Broderick Ryans. It's a story about a dystopian Earth, but from a black perspective. So the world is it's burning the hell up because the sun is real close to the Earth now. So most of the Earth is scorched. So it's a story from the perspective of 5 survivors of this apocalypse. My character is Simeon. Simeon is somebody that you wouldn't expect to be a survivor in this situation because he's upbeat, optimistic, happy-go-lucky. Even though he knows the dire situation of what's going on, he still wants to keep a positive spin in that it's going to be okay. And also, he's very youthful and very like childlike too, but not in a goofy way, but it's more like it's always the glass half empty. No, the glass half full. Kind of like that kind of guy. And how I got a part of this production, it was a new production, a new theater, the Theater Underground Seattle. And when I read the synopsis of the story, I was like, oh, cool. It'll be a story that I can test my skills as an actor because I never did a role like this before. And so in audition, shout out to Lynette and Rye, they saw what I did and wanted me to cast me as Simeon. And the story is amazing. It's a great story because I always ask people like, when have you ever seen a black survivalist story? Like told through the black narrative, but it's grounded though. It's not over the top. It's not a caricature of itself. It's for like a grounded story of 5 black survivors.
And so y'all play this like once a week, once a day. How's that?
So we've done 4 shows a week.
Okay.
Um,
How long is the show usually ask? How long is
it's like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
It's like a 1 act. It's 1 hour and a half. We have our last 2 shows are this today and tomorrow. Our last 2 shows at the Theater Underground. It's at Base Camp Studios in Belltown, which is on First Ave. Okay. Base Camp Studios. The show starts at 7 p.m. tonight, and the last show tomorrow's at 2. Tickets are on Theater Underground Seattle.org or .com. Just type it in, it'll pop up. And yeah, come support.
It's like a preferred dress code. Like you have to go dress up in like a 3-piece suit, tuxedo, or you can just go and
come casual. No, dress like you got sense, okay. But you ain't got to dress formal though.
so no booty shorts.
No, don't come up.
No booty shorts, flip flops, and and white beater.
No. Ain't that hot? No. No, just come through, be comfortable. We have people dressed in suits, people dressed in hoodies. Yep. We just want people to come and see the show.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So each time you do a role, is your goal like to expand your acting skills, or is it like to expand something yourself? Like, what's your goal for each role you take on?
My goal is to expand my skills, is to test myself, also to be seen and viewed, because I told you my goals are to be in ACT Theater, Seattle Rep, or Fifth Avenue Theater. So I hope that my skills get recognized so I can be put on those stages. But also to learn more about myself as a person, because I take away, because all my characters come from a place that's me. That's within myself. So when I explore that side that I normally don't tap into, I learn some more about myself, which I take on later to be a better person and a better man later.
Are you at the point in your acting career where people are sending you stuff to read, or you're still like going out? You still have to go on your own and find stuff on your own.
I still go out and find stuff on my own. Okay. I love that. I love the hunt. I want to feel like I earned it. You know what I'm saying? When I get to the point people start sending me stuff, I've known that I've done it.
I mean, that'd be a good feeling.
That'd be a great feeling, and it knows I have a good body enough of work that people trust my craft. Yeah. But I love hunting. I love the hunt for the roles.
Nice. So we're gonna go back to that in a minute. Next, and this is where I found you from originally, right? On social media. You have a series, at least I think it's a series, called Dating is Trash.
The Seattle dating scene is trash.
That is fucking hilarious.
The Seattle dating scene is trash.
How did that come about?
Man, it came from a heartbreak, bro. Yeah. I was in a relationship that ended in 2021, and I always try to find humor in tragedy. So I was filming a movie in Everett, and I went to a convenience store at one of our breaks, and I opened the door for this woman, and she looked at me. I'm opening the door for her. She looked at me. She was like, I'm an adult
I
woman.
remember that.
Yeah, I'm an adult woman. I don't need help. I can open my own doors. Thank you. And she still proceeded to walk through though.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know how I connected that with dating scene,
Yeah.
but how
That
did,
that had a lot of nerves, a lot of people. A
yeah,
lot of people. Like I know people will be equal standard with man, just being manners, gentlemen, especially people in the South, right? It's like,
yeah, this manners. I mean, that's common. Like it's something I didn't think about. It's when you see a woman, open the door for
yeah.
a woman. Like do that. Grandmama, my mama told me that.
So our subject,
Yeah.
that happened to someone else a little recently, and they're like, I did that. Basically, so you had someone from the comments. What I do is when I see a woman walking, I close the door shut and I say, I want you to overcome the patriarchy. Open this door over my dead body.
Right. Overcome the picture.
Overcome the patriarchy. Open this door with me holding it shut for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna try that next time, see how that works out. No, that's yeah. And when I told that story about
Oh,
me,
it hurt nerve. You had a lot of
yeah, a
comments, like
lot of
at
comments,
least
and
a
I was,
thousand comments. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, whoa.
And like 99.9 was like on your side.
On
Like
my side, yeah, like men and women, and I was like, oh wow.
I think maybe one or two like agreed with her.
Yeah, you got to have that to
Yeah.
create conversation. And then so like every once in a while, I would just make another post based on my experiences with dating or overhear something regarding dating.
I like the ones you do where you're on the link rail, you overhear people talking and shit.
Yo, the one that stood out to me was the story I shared about a woman that I knew from when I worked at 24-Hour Fitness. And I was a membership counselor at 24-Hour Fitness in Northgate. And when I first met her, she was trying to gain weight. So I thought she was trying to be a bodybuilder, right? But no, she was I don't know if you could say a worker, a sex worker, whatever.
Yeah.
She was a sex worker, but she was into it was I think I forgot the proper term for it, but it was like fat fetish. So I hung out with her and we went to this Indian restaurant and she just had a whole bunch of food for her. I had ordered my own food.
Yeah.
And so she would eat it, and that's the last time I saw her. A few years later, she follows me on Instagram, and she hit me up, and she's bigger now. She's into this full the sex worker, being a fat fetish sex worker, and she was telling me about how this dude was asking her to play with herself with pizza, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, like sending videos of her doing sexual gyrations with pizza.
All fucking kinds.
All kinds. And I was on the light rail, and then like I had the sound on, and so you heard the moaning the dude was doing when she was and I had to turn it down, and I'm like, yo, this is so weird. And it's like weird, it's like people are into so many different things, like people have their kinks, people have their preferences. But I didn't think a dude would get off on watching a woman gyrate on pizza, though.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and when I keep sharing these stories, people don't believe me. People think I'd be making this up until a couple of people would see this stuff actually happen in real life. Like, oh, you're not making it up. Like, no, like how? I know I'm a story writer. I know I'm a storyteller, but how can I come up with my imagination ain't that good, man?
Yeah, because the shit you be seeing on the link row be
off the chain, man. Off the chain. So
is that like a blog series you're doing, or like you're gonna write, or like you have to monetize that sometime?
I gotta figure something out soon, man. Because I know I was trying to do a podcast, but I don't like how the podcast was going because it turned into gender bashing. But I was literally just trying to have conversations.
Yeah.
I got to figure something out to do with that because I haven't posted anything.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, because I have somebody now, so I'm in a relationship right now. So, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop content though. It's still trash out here. I made it out, but y'all still have to go through it. So
now, some of your things are back for men too, right?
Huh?
Are you back for men too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fair. Yeah. Like I try to be fair. Like I'm not trying to. I am fair.
Yeah.
Because we're both trash. I'll tell you. Because the name Seattle dating scene is trash. It's me saying that people always complain about the Seattle dating scene is trash, but they don't look at themselves and how they're trash.
Oh yeah.
Because if you keep having the same trash situations, the common denominator is you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
If
you have 5 trash guys approach you each time, you're attracting her. Or vice versa, you're a guy, 5 trash girls walk up to you.
Right. Trash people love going to a landfill.
Yeah.
So if you keep getting trash, if you keep getting trash people, that means you're a landfill. So let's change that.
You gotta monetize that some kind of
way. I know. People get my head.
Some kind of comedy series. I don't know, some kind of way. But
I'm coming with something. I have to do it soon because every single time I drive something, and it's always something that happens, or if I remember something. Like another story was when I went on a date, like 6 years ago. It was a long time ago. Actually, it was before I started writing children's books, so this was prior to this. I went on a date with a woman over here in Pioneer Square. It was like a little bar or something, and she was a traveling nurse. And this is before when I was about to become a children's book author. She was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna be in town for long, so I want to hire you to have sex with me for 3 months while I'm here." And she was gonna pay me $1,500 for that.
Like each time?
No, total.
Okay.
Yes, like 1,500. So
If
$500 a
it
month.
takes time, I don't know. You might have to take that
No,
opportunity.
no, no. The reason why I didn't do it is because I knew I was gonna write children's books, and I didn't want to come back on me. And I
Yeah.
was out here slanging it for profit. I didn't want that to come back to me. So I didn't want that.
I mean, it's, hey, I do it for no cameras, no.
All right.
We got to set an NDA.
NDAs and all that. No, I didn't want that problem. So good thing I did because technology has increased since then. Somebody would have learned that I was out here being a prostitute.
Oh man,
So I didn't want that to happen.
that's insane.
But it happened. And so yeah. And that happened again too. I'm gonna start rolling now. When I was on Bumble like a couple of years ago, a woman who was in a ethical non-monogamous relationship, and she was married to a woman. She was trying to hire me to donate sperm to get her pregnant because she wanted to carry the child,
Yeah.
and she wanted it to do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
And she was going to pay me money too,
Like,
but I was already
I want hands on.
yeah, she wanted hands-on experience, and I didn't want to do it because I was writing children's books. I didn't want that to come back on me, So
One thing that's crazy to me that I don't understand is like, what's it called now? They do a lot in Seattle. It's called I think polygamy, where like you might be married to someone, you could each go have a sexual relationship with someone else.
Yeah.
Or you get permission.
yeah, you got a polyamorous.
Yeah, that's the polyamorous.
Polyamorous. You got ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah.
You got monogamy, non-monogamous, where one partner is monogamous, another partner is not monogamous.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I can't get down with that.
Nah, I mean, I'm just monogamous, bro.
That's
like me and my girl, we're monogamous, and I'm just rocking with her.
I know this lady who does that. So
yeah,
if you get permission, it's fine. But if you do it without permission, it's cheating. Yeah.
yeah. Nah, I'm not doing.
I mean, you're still doing it.
What's the difference? But everybody has their thing. And Seattle is one of the most like sexually liberated cities in the country. You know what I'm saying? So you get everything you want
like
here.
Seattle models be have a hole, put something in it.
Yeah, right. Now Seattle's a trip, man. Seattle's a trip. And you know who I love? Like I love so much is like the lesbians up here, because the lesbians tell you the truth of what's really going on out here. So shout out to all my lesbian homegirls, man. You guys are the best.
So what's the next acting role you're going after?
Um,
Let me rephrase that. What's the next acting role you're gonna get?
the next acting role I'm gonna get, I heard through the grapevine that a soldier's play is gonna be produced in the fall in the winter through Axon Stage and Langston Hughes. And I'm gonna get one of them roles.
Sure.
I'm gonna do whatever got to research I got to do, get my body ready for that because I got to be a soldier. So I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit. I'm gonna do that. But right now I'm starting to look into getting back into film and TV a little bit more because I want to build up my my resume with that. Because my film goal is to be in a Tyler Perry movie because I grew up watching Tyler Perry plays in high school, and I love the story of how he did it himself. So it'll be an honor to be in a Tyler Perry movie because of the impact Tyler Perry and his production stuff has had on me.
Is there a limit? Like, can you only do one theater role at a time? Can you do multiple roles? Like, you be in 2 or 3 plays, that'd be too much.
No, it'll be too much because of the amount of time it takes to get ready for that role.
Okay.
So theater, you got to do it one at a time. Film and TVs, you could probably do 2 at a time. Like if you're doing a film, you can just schedule it out with whatever TV show or other movie that you're doing because of the size of the role that you're doing. So, but theater, you got to do 1 at a time. You can't do 2 theater shows at a time because of the amount of character research, character development requires, and also the amount of time of rehearsal it takes. Because you probably be rehearsing for 3 to 4 days a week, 3 hours a day, and it's always after work, especially with community theater or local theater. Even when you get hired to the big theaters, it still takes a lot of time.
Okay.
So.
And so, like, what's the #1 theater? See, I was like, is that the Fifth Avenue one? Is that sort of the top of the top, so to speak?
I would say I don't know about #1, but I'll say the top theaters would be ACT Theater, Seattle Rep, and Fifth Avenue Theater. But Fifth Avenue Theater is the musical theater.
Okay. And ACT Theater is the one you're associated with, right?
Axon Stage.
Axon Stage.
Axon Stage. Axon Stage is a theater in White Center.
Okay.
And ACT Theater is short for a contemporary theater, and that's on downtown on 7th.
And which one started in 2020 during the COVID?
Axon Stage.
Okay.
Axon Stage with Michelle Lang Raymond and Isaiah Anderson Jr.
Did you happen to know why they started it?
They were in the scene too. Like they've done musicals. Like I know Isaiah Anderson Jr. and Michelle have produced a teen summer musical, which is the only black musical production summer program that's been going on for 27 years. They were doing that, and also Isaiah and Michelle have both experienced theater and music, stand-up comedy. So they've been performers for a very, very long time, and they just got the idea to start their own theater house in 2020.
So I mean, obviously this is your question to answer, but I ask anyway. Like, it seems like in Hollywood, like it's either Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman, or a couple other black actors have
Yeah.
all the roles.
Yeah.
Like, how do we like increase like more options, so to speak?
You increase more options by increasing more opportunities, like an Acts on Stage Theater or a Langston Hughes, or if there's somebody else, or a Sankofa Theater, which is Sankofa Theater with Tay May. She runs that downtown by the BMW. But yeah, if you present more houses, you'll increase more opportunities for black authors, not authors, excuse me, black actors and black playwrights to have an opportunity to express themselves. Yeah.
And how do we make sure, like I'll make this up. I think there's a town. I think is it Everett or some other place like north of Seattle where they're cutting out the band arts elementary schools, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you make sure? Of course, funding, all that kind of stuff. Like, how do you make sure funding for arts stays in there because arts is important.
I mean, money's one thing though, but I think parents got to be invested into it too. I mean, right now, a lot of parents are interested in uh, curricular activities or curriculums that help kids get jobs. And for some reason, people don't think you can get a good career being an artist. So that's why it's easy for schools to cut art programs. But it's the human spirit factor that people are missing, though. Like, we need art. Art is a time capsule of the time we're living in. You can't cut those. And also, how can a kid who is trying to learn who they are, how they'll be able to express it? You can't express it on a computer. You can't express it uh, with electronics. You can do that through art, whether it is, writing a comic book, writing a manga, writing a book, being a dancer, being an actor. You need those. So I think it's not just funds, it's about an investment from the adults and the parents and the community into the program too. Like, say something about it.
So they have the phrase starving artist for a reason, right?
Yes.
How do you keep people from being a starving artist? How do you make sure they learn the business side? Because I'm guessing if you go to art school, acting school,
Yeah.
they're probably not taking business classes like that.
No.
But how do you make sure, you decrease the number of starving artists, so to speak?
Yeah, you got to learn. You got to know what you're trying to do. Like, what's your vision? Like, I mean, you're trying to be an actor, great, but what type of career you're trying to have, and then you just put numbers to that. Like, and you take the roles you want to take, and also do like learn the business. Like, I did everything YouTube and asking questions. So it just based on if you know what you want to do with it. So you got to discover what you want first, and then to set up a plan to take you there as well. So that would be my answer to that.
So how did you learn the business of all this stuff?
My mentors. I know I keep dropping names, but it's part of my story. But like I consider Isaiah and Michelle my mentors, and also Aviana has helped me out a lot too. And I just ask questions because even though I'm 38, I'm still young in the business I'm in. So my curiosity is still high. I still want to learn more. I still want to know, how can I cry on command? How can my face how can I express what I'm feeling without saying a word? Or what's the stories about? How do I read scripts? Like, is there a different way I can read the scripts to know what the writer's trying to say? So just keep your curiosity high. And your curiosity is, just an investment of learning what to do.
So I usually ask this question later on, but since you already brought it up, I ask it now. So besides the mentors already mentioned, do you have any other mentors that are mentoring you?
Other mentors that are mentoring me. I'll say I have a good core of friends. A good core of friends that keep me accountable. Like Luis, Kelvin, Damon, Dexter, my barber. Shout out to all the barbers, man. They're a godsend. Angelica, Omi. Like, I have a good Rosa. I have a good network of friends. Good, like, I call family. Of course, my mom and dad. I'm not gonna forget them. my mom and my dad helped me out a lot. And also my daughter too. Like, my daughter's not my mentor, but my daughter provides a good base on where I should be doing because of what I'm trying to clear the debris for her.
Yeah.
So that way she doesn't have to go through the pitfalls and the red flags.
So follow-up question, to me, the more important part of the question. Who are you mentoring?
That's a good question. I don't know. Nobody's ever said you're my mentor, but I try to be helpful. There's my bro, my young bro, Joshua Webb. That's my guy. Every time I see him, I always try to make sure he's doing good, following his career as an actor. Um, my bro Kelvin. Kelvin is younger than me, and I try to be a big bro to him. You know, nobody's ever called claim as their mentor yet.
I'm sure you're mentoring people. You might not realize it.
Maybe yeah, they haven't told me.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to be helpful because I remember how I felt when I didn't know anything and I didn't know who to turn to. So I try to be a fountain of knowledge for whoever wants it.
You also do a lot of event planning too, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have one coming up called Soulful Energy Power of Relationships on Business.
So that was a couple months ago.
Oh, that happened already. Okay.
Yeah, it happened already. And that was at mid-year. It was a panel discussion on small businesses. The one I have coming up is actually next Thursday.
Is that the networking mirror and game night?
Yeah, Love Social.
Okay,
the Love
the one
Social.
coming up. Okay.
The one coming up on May 16th, Love Social at Communion is gonna be a networking mixer / game night. Happy for Communion to let me to host it. So the purpose of my events is one of my other longtime passions. It's owning an arcade. It's owning an arcade.
Like
I love
old time Pac-Man.
Yeah,
game,
like
okay.
pinball. Like I want to do that. So these networking events to help me bring awareness to that and raise money for that. So I'm happy that community is giving me an opportunity to raise money. But my goal is to own an arcade. So the Love Social Networking Mixer. It's not a singles night, but it can be if you want it to
So
be.
what's your like target audience for like small business people, between
Small
certain
business
ages?
people, entrepreneurs, couples, singles, anybody that is trying to make it in Seattle, that's trying to find a community to call their own.
Is it gonna be like pitches there, panel discussions, just like people that are like networking?
No, it's networking and games, man.
Okay.
Like gonna have checkers, dominoes, Uno, Cards Against Humanity. Got a limbo bar. I got a tic-tac-toe bean toss thing. It's really just a moment where you could escape and just have fun, you know.
Okay. And where's it gonna be at again?
Communion R&B restaurant. It's on 24th and Union.
Okay.
The 20th.
What neighborhood is that?
Central District.
Okay.
Central District area. I want to say 20. I don't want to get the wrong address, but it's at Communion R&B restaurant.
Okay.
In the Central District. Yeah.
And then I think for Juneteenth, you're doing a Black Makers Market.
Yeah, Black Makers Market. I'm collaborating with the scene in South Park and South Park Hall. It's a Juneteenth celebration. It's going to be a Black Makers Market. It's also going to be a performance. It's going to be like singing. It's going to be a social sing along situation from 5 to 8 during Juneteenth on a Wednesday. Looking for vendors right now. So any Black owned businesses, Black owned vendors, just hit me up and we'll get you signed up and get a table.
Is this the first time you're doing this event? You've done this event before?
This first time I'm doing this type of event. Yes, first
Okay.
time I'm doing it. I'm
you gonna try to make it an annual event, or I'm sure you're gonna base it on what like attendance is for this one. But
yeah, we're gonna see. I hope it is annual because I love having staples like that. But we're gonna see how this first one goes.
So all these events you're doing, the social stuff, Juneteenth, your your workshops or writing. How do you advertise this stuff? Like you push on social media, word of mouth. How do you like make sure people know about this?
It just depends on what the event is, and I know the demographic I'm trying to talk to, so I find those channels to talk to them. Social media, of course, my social media channels. If it's a big event like the Juneteenth one, we'll reach out to like Converge or reach out to South Seattle Emerald to get a local publication or something like that to reach out to people. And mostly it's word of mouth. You know, I love the hustle, I love the hunt, so I'll still do the old school poster thing,
like guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, I love that. I love
some posters and somebody's
yeah, because I feel like people will listen to you more when you are in their face and you're talking to them and they can feel that you really mean it.
It's easy for people to say no when you send them an email.
Yeah. But it's like if I see you and I can explain it to you, you're like, oh, okay, I can see myself in it. Versus because how many emails do you get on a day? You know, but it's still necessary if you have a built-in audience. But I'd rather like talk to you face to face and tell you what the event's all about.
So for Juneteenth, what kind of vendors are you looking for?
Any and all Black owned authors.
So if I'm Black owned, it has to be like 100% Black owned, 45% Black owned, 30%.
I'll say 75% Black owned.
Okay.
75 to 100% Black owned. Like if you're Black owned and have like white employees, that counts, but you have to be present there just to justify it optically.
Okay. But you can't be like white owned, 10 employees, and one is like half Black.
Nah, that ain't gonna fly, bro. Nah, ain't gonna fly. But any businesses, because I don't want it to be monolithic, like authors, hair, watches, suits, tech, if you own the business, show up because you need to be seen.
So how do you get the word out to these black-owned businesses to be a vendor? What's the process?
Newsletter,
Okay.
word of mouth.
Isn't it like a? I'll make this up. Isn't it like a Black Chamber of Commerce in Central District or something like that?
There is.
African American Chamber of Commerce, something
Yeah.
like that.
I'm gonna reach out to them next week because I know it's Mother's Day weekend, so
Yeah.
everybody's off guide, make sure mom is happy. So I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna start doing more of a call out, a more intentional call out next week.
What if somebody wants to support your Juneteenth, but they're like a white-owned business or not black-owned business? How they support?
If they're not,
Yeah, like
just come through as come through as an attendee.
okay.
Come through as an attendee and network. I'm not excluding.
Is there like sponsorships they can do possibly, or?
Yeah, we have an opportunity table. We have an opportunity table,
Okay.
so they can just reach out to me, and then we can discuss how they can support and be sponsors.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you play tonight. The play starts at 7.
7 o'clock, yeah.
And so, do you have like a pre-rehearsal run through or something like that?
So what I do, I say all my lines at once. Like I just go through it, and that's how I get into character. My character send me, I do it like that, and also, I have this thing like each play I do, I have like a quirk that I have to do to get myself in the zone. Like one of the things I do for this play, I have a bandana and I throw it up and hit the vents.
Okay,
And that's the way I can like channel.
that's like what's it called? Not man, not tradition, but it's a fucking what I'm looking for. Like football players have it.
Yeah, like their pregame ritual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
my
something called. Yeah, I can't think
yeah
of the word.
yeah. That's my ritual. That's what lets me
Yeah.
know that I'm in there because of the stage
Mhm.
is dystopian, apocalyptic. It gets me in the zone. Like okay, I'm I don't have any food.
Mhm.
You know, my character is shot too.
Yeah,
So I started getting the sensation of me
yeah.
being shot by it. I make this feel heavy,
Uh-huh.
and so that's my ritual.
And so, has it feel good after you do a play, whatever? People come to you and say, "Man, I really enjoyed your performance," or something like that. Does that happen a lot?
It happens every play. It's awkward because I'm still decompressing and getting out of my character.
Uh huh.
But then I realized, okay, now they realize that it's not Simeon, it's Jeff, but I'm still letting the spirit of Simeon go.
Hmm.
So it's kind of it's awkward, but I'm
Yeah.
grateful because I'm still trying to let go of the emotions I just went through on stage. And it's great the fact that people enjoyed the work that we do on for the show.
And like, how do you prioritize all the stuff? You know, like the plays, the acting, the events. Like Monday. On Monday, do you have like your schedule? I'm doing this from 9 to 10, this at 10 11.
Mhm.
Or you like lack of a better term, you wing it. Like, what's your process for like
All of
figuring
the
stuff
above.
out?
Like no, it's based on priority. Like right now, the priority is the play because
Yeah.
that takes so much of my time.
Mhm.
And after the play is over with, it's gonna be um the Love Social at Communion because that's next Thursday. So I get ready for that. And then after that, I got a couple other things I have to do. I'm part of the marketing team for the Teen Summer Musical this year, so we start strategizing the marketing strategy for that, and also getting ready for Juneteenth. So it's based on what's coming up,
Okay.
and then that's how I prioritize what I have to work on.
Okay. Think what else? So, what's your long term goal for yourself? Do you want to be like since you brought up Tyler Perry, like a Tyler Perry type mogul, media mogul out of Seattle?
Man, yeah, like off the rip, I want to own my own arcade. I want to own it because I love holding space for families to feel safe. That's the one thing I love to do all my events. Families are going to feel safe in my events. And I feel like the arcade represents that. I love seeing a dad and his children play pinball together because this is the clash of the multi generations and stuff. That's what I want to do. For my acting career, like I said, act theater, Seattle Rep, Fifth Avenue Theater. If I can do those, I'm good. Consistently do that. I just want to have a long career that I can be proud of. Like I don't for stage. If I do Broadway, that's fine. If I don't, that's also fine. But if I'm consistently working and getting like 2 roles a year, I'm fine. For being film and theater, I would love to be on a TV show. I love to be on a TV show. It doesn't have to be prime. I'm on a TV show.
So you need to do a fucking reality TV show, Dating the Trash.
Yeah, no, that'd be filthy. I could. That'd be hilarious, but I don't want to ruin lives like that. But yeah, I was kind of surprised in myself that those what I wanted. Like I didn't want like Hollywood isn't a need. I just
Yeah.
wanted just to have a good, sustainable, solid living, solid career.
So don't tell us the details, but how does it work as far as like getting paid for acting roles? Like, I'm guessing like the lead character is paid more for a minor role. Like, is it negotiable between you and the theater? Like, how's the pay work?
It's for community theater, they have a set salary because of the budget that they have. It could be between I'll give a number. It's between a good role that I've realized is either between 400 to 1,400 for that role for community theater. I know with the major theater houses, it's weekly. I don't know the numbers because I haven't been on there yet, but I know it's weekly. Um, but yeah, definitely when if you're starting off, don't quit your day job. Like don't do that. But for film, if it's a TV show, you can negotiate getting the residuals for, especially if it hits syndication, you could do that. Movies, if it's independent, you get paid one time, but if it's like a major motion picture and you're one of the principal characters, you can do residuals or get points on sales, or
Yeah,
whatever.
like the people friends never work again the day.
Oh, they're never gonna be broke. They should never be broke. No,
They'll be rich till their whole lives.
think they were getting like $1 million an episode. Nah,
Yeah,
they should be fine.
So what's better as an actor? Is it better to like have a minor role in some kind of play, or is it better to be the understudy of the main character? Or does it matter? Or does
It just depends on what the production is.
Mhm.
Like if you have a minor role in a Fifth Avenue theater production, that's great. It's just great. It depends on what you want out of it. It depends what your goals are. Like if you still want to learn something, maybe being an understudy is a great idea because you get to learn from classically trained or professionally trained actors and get knowledge from that. And also, if you're understudy, you get to learn more about the behind the scenes production side.
Yeah.
And you can learn how that works. So that way that can help how you position yourself on stage. Like, okay, me standing over here cheating out this way, it helps the lighting this way because I learned that from the tech. So it just depends when you want out of it. Everybody's goals are different, so it depends what you want to get out of it.
And you're born and raised in Seattle?
Yep, born and raised.
And you left there for the time to go to the Bay Area to play football, I think?
Yeah, I try to leave, but I got pulled back in here.
So you've basically been here your whole life?
Whole life, man. First, I went to school in Compton, Compton Community College. And it was funny when I learned that the head coach was one of Freeway Ricky Ross's, one of the big drug kingpins. One of his lieutenants was my head coach.
Oh, shit.
And I didn't learn that until after I left. And I was like, what the hell? Because he was the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was wow. And, came back from Compton. I got scared. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was tough. And I went to where they really were tough. And I'm like, I'm not that tough.
Yeah.
And I came back up here.
You're like, I'm Seattle tough.
I'm Seattle tough.
But not Compton tough.
I'm not Compton tough. Yeah. I'm Seattle tough. I'm not Compton tough. And so when I came back and I went to school in the Bay Area, and that's where I was playing football at college in San Mateo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So what for people not know anything about Seattle, what are some Seattle stereotypes that you're like, no, this isn't really the real Seattle?
This whole Seattle freeze thing is starting to get on my nerves, man. Because my thing is like people come, oh, Seattle freeze. People don't like to talk to you. Yeah, I don't know you. Why would I talk to you? Like, let's have a conversation first. Like we do have like the whole Southern hospitality thing. If you look at me, I will like, hey, how you doing? But this whole thing with people who move up here, oh, this is Seattle freeze.
Yeah, see, I'll push back on that. Come from Texas.
Okay.
In Texas, everyone you see, you're gonna say hi to, right? Or not something. Yeah. Here in Seattle, it's like, nah. Because like you say hi to someone, you got $1,
When you're walking around.
You got some fentanyl I can give you.
Fentanyl, yeah. But there's a little bit of that, but I think it's more or less the fact that Seattle to me, and since you're from Texas, correct me if I'm wrong, Seattle's a major city, but it has a small town vibe to it. Because a lot of the people who are from here grew up together in their pocket.
Yeah.
Even though it's a major city, we still have a group of people that we're familiar with. So we know our essence, right? So when a new person comes, and if you do have a good vibe, I know with my people, we're like, hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. But this whole thing that we're supposed to just automatically start a conversation with you, no, I don't know you.
But you always hear the horror stories, right? Like one horror story, of course, I'm making this up from memory. There's an article on the Seattle Freeze I read a long time ago. Mm-hmm. This person he moved from somewhere else, moved here, got a new job, at work for a week. Friday afternoon, everybody, hey, we're going to so-and-so's house, have a barbecue, whatever, Yeah. And the guy was like, man, I expect to be invited, new guy, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you about him, new guy,
Yeah.
Don't know, have
a good weekend. Yeah. That does happen too. Sometimes, okay, I'll give it this though. We are nice people, but we're more or less, you have to speak up if you want to come. Like,
so that person should have just invited themselves.
Yeah, you just like, hey, you mind if I come through? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We're not like the whole Southern thing. It was like, yeah, come on through.
Another story I remember was saying, well, like this couple moved up to their family. I might be making this up right now. Couple moved their family, they went to church, and after church, we're gonna go clean something up, right? Clean everything up. No one talked to him, right? Like, okay, we don't know you.
Yeah.
So I do think there's something to it.
There's something to it, but it's not as bad as people make it seem. Like, if that's the case, why everybody keep moving up here?
I mean, money talks, right?
That part, yeah, true. But no, Seattle's a wonderful spot though.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place. It's wonderful. The people are nice. We just got to get to know you. Once we get to know you,
Yeah.
treat you like family.
So I live in DuPont, been in since 2009, went to the military.
Uh-huh.
My thing, I tell people, like, it probably about the rain, right? I said, no, it doesn't rain that much. Like, tell people in the South, it'll rain an inch in like 20 minutes. Here, it takes fucking 2 months to rain an inch,
Right.
right?
It's more like it's just gray.
Yes, this is great.
It's just gray.
Like,
Like,
that fucking kills you. Like,
yeah.
like, damn. Are we no fucking like gloomy?
Right. It's almost like you want to pop the bubble just for it
Yeah.
to start to rain. But it's like the whole thing the thing about Seattle being a rainy city, it's just overcast.
Just gray, yeah.
It's just gray.
Like sometimes, what the fuck is that?
Right. This is why was it so gray? But it feels nice though.
Yeah.
Because when you get weather like we have right now, it just makes it so worth it. Like,
Yeah.
and you really see how beautiful this place really is.
My thing, I always joke around. If this area could be like today, just 4 months straight.
Oh, I'll be.
Just,
You know what?
I'm not talking 6 months. I just give me this 120 straight days.
Yeah.
Or whatever year, I'll go fucking. You get blizzard, snowstorm,
Right.
rain, 4 straight months.
Yeah, you imagine how much we could get done with this kind of weather right now. Because I want to go hiking. I want to build a house. I'm like, let's get some things going.
What's crazy, like it's be cloudy, rainy all the time. When the sun does come out, like, okay, do I like mow the lawn, wash the house? Do I do like stuff I'm supposed to, or do I go fuck off and go to the beach? You know, like you got to decide because it's nice today, but tomorrow you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea. So enjoy while you got it now.
And so, do you still live in the Central District?
I live in SeaTac now.
SeaTac, okay.
Yeah, it got too pricey.
Okay.
Got too pricey. Yeah. So I live out in SeaTac. I do have plans to move back in the city, but I'm good where I'm at right now. It's very quiet.
Right now. So one thing I want to do this summer is like I want to like take a week and just fuck off. Like each day, one day go to Belltown, one day to Georgetown. I want to like spend a day each neighborhood.
Like it'd be an indoor tour, like be an in-state tourist.
Yeah, like yeah. I think each neighborhood has something off. Like I like Ballard, you know. Belltown just depends when you go there, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Georgetown, especially that one block, all the restaurants and bars on it.
I love Georgetown.
Yeah.
Especially the graffiti on the wall, so it really adds to the aesthetics there.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite neighborhood?
Beacon Hill.
Beacon Hill?
I love Beacon Hill.
Okay.
Beacon Hill's cool. It's, family based. It's nice people. It has like a clash of all cultures. Got the Mexican, Latinx culture.
Yeah.
Black culture, all that stuff there. I love it. The food is amazing. It's like a good collection of small owned restaurants or small owned businesses out there with quality stuff. So I love Beacon Hill. Central District, because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Love it. Columbia City too. I love Columbia City. All the restaurants too.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about Seattle as well, is the small businesses have heart to it. You can tell the small businesses that are here, people actually care, and they try to establish that as a staple in the communities that they're a part of.
So with Seattle, you've been here all your life.
Yeah.
What's something about Seattle that you're like, man, we need to change this, and this needs to get better?
Traffic. No.
With traffic, it's not really that bad. Like I've been places where like way worse, like Seoul's way worse.
Yeah.
And DC's way worse.
Yeah. I would say is what's going on downtown with the whole drug stuff. I don't know. I just know one day I was able to walk around downtown and go through all the shops, and all of a sudden, looks like hell on earth.
Yeah. Oh, you see people busted out that aluminum foil.
Yeah,
you know what's about to go down.
It's about to go down, but it's so like it's just free. It's like an open market though, and it's like it is so.
You think about it, if you're a cop and you arrest someone, you pretty know it's going to be like out of jail within minutes.
Minutes. So it's just like, what's the point? It's like a bucket with a hole in it that you don't know how to plug, and that breaks my heart because I knew what Seattle felt like when I was growing up. Like me and my homies could just walk from the city all the way downtown. Yeah. I wouldn't dare think of my daughter doing that right now. Yeah.
Like I come into Pioneer Square every day. Like I'm not very scared. I've never seen any crime. Of course, I know crime happens.
Yeah.
But like I had my head on a swivel. I've never seen anything, but still, it's like okay, I'm walking. These people doing this. These people doing that.
Yeah.
You can't be like carefree. And
no, you
like
can't.
that.
Even with your headphones on, you got to still clock in what your surroundings are, because you don't know. Especially a backpack.
Yeah. This person here, they're walking this way. This person's over here.
Yeah. Like, why are these people walking like this at the same time?
Yeah.
You got to know that. But
you walk in, you see somebody in the doorway with a aluminum foil. Okay, you know what they're
you know what you do. Avoid that little smoke that comes from the bus stop.
Oh my God, yeah. You heard that thing that heard the news the other day, where for the first time ever, someone caught brain disease from fentanyl smoke, something like that.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, this happened recently. Like, what, they never used fentanyl, but there's somewhere the fentanyl smoke was in it.
Yeah.
They got brain disease.
Yeah, no, that it's heartbreaking.
My thing is like, how high does that shit get you to want to do it right? It can't be no high. Like it's like get high as you want of death, right? To me,
Yeah,
that's too much of a fucking
that's
risk.
too much. It's too much of a damn risk, and it's heartbreaking to see it. When you see somebody high off that stuff,
Yeah.
how they really just be zoned out, looking like a ghost tree, planted right there, and don't move for like 5 minutes.
Here's the craziest thing I've seen
Yeah.
recently. So sometimes I catch a bus from down south, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one time it was a bus 594. It's a bus like sometimes it's good, sometimes like, oh my God, why'd I get on this bus road? So we're on the bus, we're past, we're in Federal Way driving right. This dude was on, he could kind of tell something wrong with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people like, you know how he sees him when no one sits around him. This dude took off his shoes and put a needle between his toes and shot up. I don't know if it was a heroin or fentanyl. He shot up and like it was out instantly, and everyone just like fucking.
Yeah.
The bus driver can't do nothing
No,
because
they
yeah,
can't.
you can't drop. I guess you could stop and kick him off the bus. I guess, but yeah,
Yeah, but then like the next stop, it could be another guy doing the same thing.
yeah,
I've seen somebody like shoot up using a vein in their calf, and also too, because I ride the light road on the bus a lot too. Like I knew it was crazy when bus drivers didn't even care no more.
yeah.
People just walk in, didn't even pay a fare.
I know, yeah,
Yeah, because I think they want to be safe and protect
yeah.
themselves.
You're like, I'm homeless. I'm not paying you. Or
Yeah,
some crazy
right.
stuff.
And I took advantage of that too. I just,
Yeah,
I'm an actor. I act crazy because I
yeah,
don't want to pay.
yeah.
And they're like, go ahead. I sit up. I was like, oh man, save myself
I
$3.
remember for a while the news was like they're on the news all the time, like people smoking fentanyl on the bus.
Yeah, like they put that little black coat over their head,
Yeah,
and then
like
just
we can still see you.
we can smell it and we can see you.
Yeah, we can
Like
still see you.
it's
Like,
80 degrees.
and
Like
can you at least like do it off the bus?
right? Why?
Like you gotta you're so addicted. You got to do it right now.
Yeah, they're that addicted. They can't wait to their stop to get off. They have to do it right then and there, and it's tragic and it's an erosion, and we see it happen, but we didn't do anything about it, or like what could we do?
Yeah,
And now, yeah, and the fact that you got people being bussed up here from other states because they know how lenient we are
yeah.
or lenient we are on this
I
stuff.
mean, they call it. Ever heard Seattle the term free Seattle?
No,
Yeah, free Seattle.
free. Oh,
Yeah,
the needle. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it fits. Because once I learned that people are busing from like
mhm,
Indianapolis and Florida and Texas coming up here because of the whole free needle exchange
yeah,
and all that stuff, I was like, oh boy, yeah, yeah, it's not gonna
yeah.
be the same.
Here's a curse for you. So like I moved in 2009, and people always say back when Seattle, I mean, to me Seattle's never been nice since I've been here. Right, different degrees of bad.
Mhm.
Was Seattle ever like nice, like you say? Like when was this? Was it like no drugs, no homelessness? Of course, I'm sure there's drugs and homeless all the time. But
Yeah,
like when, what year did it like switch? Like what the fuck happened?
I noticed the change in 2012 because
Okay.
there's always been homelessness and drugs, but it was like crack, and you knew those crackheads,
Mm-hmm.
and also those crackheads had skills. Like crackheads could fix a car.
You saw the thing that Little Boosie did a while ago, right?
No, what do you do?
So you know who Little Boosie is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So he did a deal like, Uncle Tom been smoking crack for 30 years. He
yeah,
never died.
yeah.
People on fentanyl died instantly.
Instantly.
Uncle Bob, he been doing crack for 30 years, fixing lawnmowers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like the crackheads had uses back when we were growing up.
Yeah,
Like, what I'm saying? You had a crackhead who knew how to fix a car. You had a crackhead who was a carpenter.
yeah,
You had a crackhead who did lawns, and loved
yeah,
lawn. You had a crackhead who was a painter.
yep,
Like these fentanyl people don't have any skills, so they really are useless
yep.
because they don't add anything like
Mhm.
that. And of course, I'm being facetious, but like you knew them, like they were
Yeah,
familiar in the neighborhood. Like you knew the people in the neighborhood who did drugs. You know what they
yeah.
did, and you knew who they hung out at.
Mhm.
Like there was this one dude in downtown. People who are from know what I'm talking about. There was just like he was a short, dark skinned black dude. I don't know if he was Haitian or not. And he always had this sign, and he would be screaming about religious stuff. It was always by Pike, not Pike Place, but Pacific Place.
Mhm.
And he's gone, but he was there for my whole childhood. There was this one dude. He always wore a purple coat, bandana, had a
Yeah,
Barney doll. You see him all the time. See, these new fentanyl people, I don't know these people,
yeah.
so I'm not comfortable.
It's like they moved from Indianapolis, like you said, over one
Yeah,
case. Yeah,
yeah, these transplants. So it's always been here though, but it wasn't. I'm not familiar with the programs back then
mhm,
where it caused the increase like it happened right
yeah,
now. But it was always here. But at least you knew and you were familiar and you knew where not to go. But now they're everywhere.
yeah. I think every neighborhood has it, right?
Yeah, every neighborhood has it. But growing up, I mean, Third and Pike has always had that
It's
reputation.
always been like that. Third and
Yeah, but
Pike.
it wasn't as crazy as it is now,
Crazy,
though.
crazy.
Because that McDonald's that was there,
Mhm.
you used to be able to go in that McDonald's to actually dine inside that
That
McDonald's.
ain't
But
that ain't happened no fucking
they say,
years.
fuck that. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not doing that no more. So,
More time, I was walking. I actually went on, thought, what the fuck? Oh shit, let me get the fuck away
Yeah,
from
you
here.
get away. Yeah,
Oh shit, what the hell? How'd I get over here?
yeah, don't get away. It was like the Walking Dead over there. Well,
Oh
good.
shit. So
Yeah,
I saw the story, right? So my nephew Jalen came to visit us like 3 years ago. So I'm on down to Seattle.
yeah,
You're like, Uncle Jason, I didn't know they filmed Walking Dead here in Seattle.
yeah. That's pretty much where I get the
You're like,
reference shots.
Uncle Jason, can I film this and send it to my mom? She's not gonna believe this if I tell her.
They should do a tour bus. Like it's like yeah. Remember a Dare?
Yeah.
Like Dare, they should do that. Bring that back and just ride up and down Third and Pike
Mhm.
and use that as a Dare ad.
Yeah. I was like, say I was trying like, and I hear in Pioneer Square, like there's new restaurants open up, new bars.
Yeah, you got Seattle Restore programs to
Yeah.
kind of clean it up, add more art installations. What they have, there's a lot of beautiful art stuff down there.
Yeah, I know in Pioneer Square, the first Thursday every month, there's a thing called an art walk where all
Yeah,
the galleries open up. That's nice.
yeah,
Then it's like, we're not gonna return all the riffraff.
yeah. Yeah, there's a
And,
time.
and then like it's kind of bad. Like I use two examples. So I told this in my podcast before. So in the post office next to us is a black guy. Two or three people told me this, so I'm guessing it's true. Supposedly he's been there for 12 years. They think it's dementia. He won't
Mm,
take no help. He's nice, polite, whatever, but
mm,
the police try to take him. He just refused to leave.
mm-hmm.
And supposedly, like 4 or 5 years ago, a young lady came, right? He didn't want to go with her. She got the police involved, and they're like, "Sir, this is your granddaughter, daughter. You have to go with her, please." So he left.
This is in Pioneer Square.
Right in the post office next
Their
door.
post office. Oh,
Yeah.
mm,
He'll probably be there when you go when you leave.
mm.
He was back in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And what can you do, right?
Right. It's just in and out, in and out, in and out. So
I
it's like,
mean,
what can you do? You
yeah,
know, I mean, politically, I think we got to get more involved and just got to know. I think I'm taking the chance of learning more about policies and politics
mhm,
because I don't want to be one of the people that always complain,
yeah.
but I don't know
And,
what can and cannot be done.
and another one, this one lady, she obviously has mental illness, right? She's kind of older. She has a shopping cart, and like if you see her, like 95% of the time she's yelling, like she'll like if she's in here right now, she'll be arguing with the trash can. Or she'll like yell at someone. And she just like obviously has mental illness, right? And I've been in this office space for like a year and since March last year,
Mhm.
see it all the time. And it's like, man, can someone do something right? It's like, I don't know.
Right.
Like I say, like people waste more than me, more money than me, can't figure this shit out.
Right. And going back to crackheads didn't argue with inanimate objects.
No,
You know,
no.
they didn't have time. They was just trying to work and
Yeah.
make money to get some crack.
Mm.
So it's a
Now
new dynamic.
they might find someone else with a crack rock,
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, they didn't want to argue
But
with
they're,
it.
they're
Yeah.
not gonna argue with the tree.
No,
Hey,
no.
hey, tree, you took my fucking fentanyl.
No, 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 no. They would say, can I make some crack out of this tree?" So
Yeah.
they were more intentional.
But I see that I just feel empty for like, man, like what's like that? It's like, man, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, hopefully a change does happen because Seattle is beautiful. I love downtown how it used to be, and there's a lot of businesses that I love to go to downtown that are boarded up because of what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's unfair because really it affects the small business owners. It's not fair to them because they don't have the economics to combat that stuff. So a lot of them had to shut down because I know like the COVID situation didn't help, but due to I don't want to call it negligence or lack of authority, whatever you want to say, it's just not fair.
Do you think Seattle small business friendly, or you think they're anti small business?
That's a good question. I never thought of it that way. Based on the stories, it's like Seattle wants to be small business friendly, but they're trying to figure out how to not upset big businesses. Because you need small business in order for the big business to thrive.
Mhm.
But since the big businesses have policies and politics in their back pocket that could cause a stranglehold
Yeah.
on politics, it makes it hard for small businesses. But there is a focus from Seattle to make sure that
Yeah.
that small businesses get the resources they need, though.
Yeah.
But that's a unique dynamic, though.
Yeah. And think one thing people don't think about, like second, third order effect. Like, of course, like I'm a big believer in remote work, right? But
Yeah.
however, there's always a negative, right? Like Amazon, remote work.
Mm.
All the business around Amazon, restaurants, bars who rely on Amazon workers,
Yeah,
they're fucked.
they're fucked.
Oh, what are they gonna do, right?
Yeah, what can they do?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you go through group, what's it called, Grubhub or
Yeah.
Uber Eats, and they charge you arm and a
Oh
leg
my goodness.
to
Yeah.
deliver their stuff, and then you don't have like it's too much, you know. So it's yeah, but Seattle knows that small businesses is the lifeline and the
Yeah.
lifeblood of Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon can leave, and it would cause a huge dent on the economics of Seattle, but the small business is what really gives Seattle its identity, though. It's the small businesses.
Yeah. But I definitely think the city of Seattle actually do more stuff. Like I'm taking this from someone who told me this. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm
Mm,
assuming it is. So I have a friend right now. She has like a mobile bartending business, right? She'll go different events, whatever, do
mm,
bartending. She's gonna open up a bar here in Pioneer Square, maybe a couple months, right?
mm,
She wants to do live music like once a week.
mm.
I make the number up. She said there's like a $3,000 a month live music fee the city charges.
I've never heard of that. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. Kind of like this, so the Central Saloon that's 2 blocks, like 2 blocks
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, she said they pay it every month.
A $3,000
It's not maybe not 3,000, but it's like an amount like
like
it's not cheap. It's not like $300. Like it's a
no,
definitely significant amount.
nah.
And it doesn't matter if you play one band a month or a band every night. It's the same price.
But it's weird because if that's the case, if that's how much it is, but you can do a banquet license like $10.
$10, yeah,
So
yeah,
like that's I don't know. That's weird.
yeah,
Like stuff like that. Like if I want to launch, what else can I do? Because pretty
yeah.
much that's more than rent,
I know.
you
Yeah,
know, for a 3 hour event.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. So here's another question for you. Since you've been all this your life, and this is my perspective since I've been here. Why does it seem like Seattle's always like so grungy, grimy, homelessness, drugs, whatever, and then not even 20 miles away, Bellevue is like seems like complete opposite. I'm sure Bellevue has the problems and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like almost different.
Well, I think the places I've traveled, it's like that everywhere. Like, there's always a section where it's Skid Row, but then like a couple blocks later, it's
Yeah, but
homeless.
we're talking about whole cities
The
though.
whole cities, yeah,
Yeah,
whole cities. Well, you think about the grunge thing, but Seattle is a rock and roll
yeah,
blues
yeah,
musicianship town, so that
yeah.
essence is still there,
Mhm.
right? And also I think it's our vibe because we just said earlier it's gray all the time,
Yeah.
so
I
it's
mean,
kind of hard.
it's great in Bellevue
It's
too.
great in Bellevue, yeah, but their economy is a little bit different
Yeah,
for the business.
yeah.
I don't know. That's a good
I think
question.
they're like more business, like so to speak, or more like
Yeah, because think about Bellevue. Bellevue is
more
business,
corporate, so to speak,
corporate,
more conservative.
more conservative, and Seattle's more loose and laid back
Hmm.
and leisure. Like literally, you'll see people. I'm sure you have in Seattle that wear hoodies and sweats every
Yeah,
single day.
yeah.
That's comfortable. It's not a fashion place.
No,
You know.
Seattle's dirty as fuck. Bellevue's kind of clean.
Hey, you talk about my city, man. It's like, nah, no, we ain't dirty. We shower. Our clothes are clean. This is the same one we wore 3 days in a row. That's all good.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, both cities have pros and cons. Every city has pros and cons.
Hmm.
So one thing, like, I don't know where you walked here. Did you walk from like downtown Seattle or
Yeah, I came from the light row.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So did you come down? Did you go past Occidental Square
Yeah.
and you cross the street where the Korean restaurant is at?
Yeah.
And so do you see all those gardens and stuff there?
Yeah.
So both sides used to be parking right.
Hmm.
So they got rid of those 10 parking spaces. Some people say less parking, less cars. Or a lot of people don't have like access to like public transportation, right?
No.
And so that's one thing. And like people in Billings, we have a betting pool going on. Like how many days after it's finished, like the homeless people put camps in there and start taking shits in there. That's the pool we have going on, right?
Oh man, how long? What you think? How long?
I said 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah. Someone said a week
Uh,
because like that street right there is a thing called Real Change, right? They're doing good stuff, but like
yeah.
on that street, all these fentanyl people that stay there camp every day, right?
Yeah.
They smoke fentanyl on in Real Change doorway, whatever. And so like we know that's gonna go straight to that supposed to be beautiful garden area, like do whatever,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, and I love, and also going back on what they're doing with Pioneer Square, I love what they're trying to do
Yeah,
for it.
they're doing a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff, and also with the organization Seattle Restore, trying to put uh small businesses in these neighborhoods too to try to activate it a little bit. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So we got to figure it out.
Yeah, Pioneer Square, I'm a big fan of this place. I just like
Yeah.
the air, like like since it's getting warm every day from 11 to 2, they have a live music in the Pioneer
It's
Square
very
area.
hype. Yep.
There's like always something going on. They're doing like all kinds of these festivals and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, no one really bothers you, but
Nah, like to keep your head on a swivel. I was going to ask you, how long you been up here? You say from Texas?
so we moved in 2009
Okay.
in the military, yeah, down
Okay.
in DuPont.
DuPont. Okay.
Yeah.
2009. Okay.
Yeah. It's nice. Like, it never be home from Texas, but it's like, get definitely a lot for it. Especially I'm trying to do this tech startup stuff.
Yeah.
If I was like, fuck, I don't know, bumfuck North Dakota,
Right.
it's way worse, so
All right.
yeah.
So what made you want to, military career? What made you transition to start doing this?
All right. So I'll tell you the funny story.
Mhm.
And my wife never listened to these, so it's okay.
Oh, clutch.
So me and my wife both from the same hometown, right? Odessa, Texas.
Okay.
And so the plan was when I retired from the Army, go back to Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2014, year before I retired, hey, honey, like, we got a year left. We got to start making some decisions pretty soon. Like, where are we going to move to Texas? Like, are my people, your people? Is a certain place you want to go to? He looked dead in my eye. Oh, I didn't tell you. I like it here when I go nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
And just like that.
Yeah, but if I've been smart, like
Mm.
when we moved here in 2009, had a house built. My oldest daughter was already on her own in Dallas by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Other two kids were ninth and seventh grade, so this is home to them, right?
Uh-huh.
So if we left, they'd still be here, right? So
Oh, no. Okay.
yeah, so that's where that came from.
So what made your wife want to stay? Well, what about
She
Seattle?
likes the weather.
Weather?
She hates hot
Gray?
weather. Yeah, yeah. She likes to her if it's 65 it's a fucking heat wave.
Oh yeah, so Seattle's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you grown to love it?
That would never
No,
happen.
no.
That would never happen. I've learned to tolerate it. So to
Okay,
speak, you know.
tolerated. Okay.
I mean, don't be wrong. Like I say, to people, when it's nice, it's fucking nice.
Yeah.
When it's
You
not,
can't beat it. When the weather's like this,
oh my god,
can't beat it.
it's so nice.
Yeah. Man,
I mean, it's nice. Don't be wrong. I mean, it's really nice.
that's good, man. Happy that you're here though. I love the work that you do.
Thanks.
And from what I watch videos I watch, you really do have great conversations. That's why I was really honored.
Yeah.
And I was nervous too because I was the one that was fucking up originally, not being very communicative because I was in the play and stuff like that. But thank you for your patience.
Yeah, no worries.
To have me on.
Yeah, and you asked me how to know Byron Robinson.
Yeah.
So it's funny how stuff works out, right?
Mhm.
Like one thing I tell people, if people think you're gonna network and on Monday, Tuesday, you're gonna do something, right? It takes a long process, right? Because so I have a friend named True. We were both military veterans. We're in a thing called Bunker Labs, help veterans have find start companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always kept in touch, And like last year said, hey, I have a guy who introduced you. His name's Byron Robinson. Me and Byron Robinson met. We hit it off. He came on the podcast. Matter of fact, last July, I did a pitch competition. I hosted a pitch competition in Tacoma. Byron sponsored it. He was a keynote speaker, right?
Right.
And then just like stuff from that just happens, right?
Yeah.
People don't realize that the guy you meet today is somebody you meet from that guy 4 or 5 down the road. That's gonna pay off,
Absolutely. And that's why I'm a big proponent of treating people well. Like I'm not to be fake, but just have a good heart.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who that person is, and they can provide an opportunity for you that can help you along.
But again, like you said, if they show you who they are, believe them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is so true. So you believe people who they are when they first showed you. Yeah. And just act accordingly when it does.
So do you still do any like football related items, or that's part of
I am so removed for sports. I hate watching sports now. I can't.
Yeah.
It's so weird because growing up, you couldn't tell me. When I was growing up, you couldn't tell me I was going to get to the NFL because that's what I believe. That's all I was good for, was to be an NFL player. But when I allow my mind to grow, I realized like I'm more than an athlete, And
so that's a good point, right? How do we change this, right? Like I said, I might get this up, but it's like, if you go to like a black community, 90% of the kids want to be athletes, rappers, something like that. For the white community, most of them want to be doctors, lawyers, accountants, right?
Yeah.
And how do you become an accountant is way higher than you become a football player, right?
Absolutely. And you could be for a lot longer, yeah.
So how you change that mindset?
Well, it's changing now, and I love what's changing that mindset in the black community is gaming, electronics, manga, because you got Twitch, because you got a lot of more of black game streamers online with kids that look like people that look like the kids in the neighborhood, and that's how you change it with art, with the parents in the community showing it's okay that if you want to be a gamer, if you want to be an artist, if you want to be that. So it's changing. It still needs to be more though, because honestly, in my personal opinion, and I never thought I'll ever get to this point in my life, I'll be okay if there wasn't any sports, because I don't want the kids.
It's so short-lived, right?
Huh?
So it's so short-lived. Football players,
short-lived.
4 years.
Think about it, 3 or 4 years, and you're broke. Like you literally are bankrupt and broke at 26 years old. And do you know who you really are at 26 years old? And you got to deal with that insurmountable amount of debt. You know what I'm saying? I'll be okay with it. Like if the NFL doesn't exist, I'll be fine. If the NBA doesn't exist, I'll be fine, because now the kids have to look at being a lawyer, being a doctor, being a surgeon, being an accountant, or being a construction worker, being that. And they can have those careers for 30, 40 years and take care of their neighborhoods versus having 4 million or 5 million black boys and girls thinking that they have an opportunity for a job that only employs 400 per year. And then only
and it's like the 400 change that every year.
Yeah.
Maybe when 30 or 40 change that every
year.
Right,
every year. And then only 40 of them make it, those 40 only going to be doing it for 3 years. That's a weird system.
Yeah.
It's a weird hustle.
I mean, that's like worse than playing the fucking lottery.
Yeah, it's worse. You have a better chance playing the lottery than being a professional athlete.
Do you ever watch this TV show? I think comes on Showtime called The Shy.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's really good. So one part, this part about like the south side of Chicago. I think that there's a kid on there. He's like real good on gaming, right? And so he would play by himself online.
Mm.
And finally decided to go like a white like tournament, only with that guy, right? That all you black, play. Fucking killed all of them, made a lot of money,
Mm.
right? And so he made like $100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his mother found it in his closet. And she was like, "Are you fucking selling drugs? What the fuck is
Yeah.
this? Like Baba play games. Ain't no fucking way you making money playing games. That's some white people shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck you doing?" And like, and this is
Yeah.
their mentality, right? Like you can make a lot of money playing games.
Playing games. We make a lot of money playing games. And that's also one of the things I want to do with my arcade. I want to partner with different gaming organizations to cultivate those skills
Mhm.
of how to be a gamer, not just be a gamer, be a game developer,
Yeah.
be a game producer, how to write a
All that
game
stuff.
script, all that stuff.
Like,
So
yeah, like coding games and stuff
yeah, because
like
that's
that.
the future.
Be
Like
like
e
an
games,
esports game, whatever.
right? Now the e games is like the e game industry is $1 billion industry
Mhm.
now, and you wouldn't have thought that 10 years ago, but now it is. So
I joke around back in the day. You was like, Jason, stop playing games, go outside and play. Now it's like, Jason, you better get the fuck in this house and
right,
play this
man,
game.
I'm so mad, bro, because I was good for
Like,
Super Nintendo.
how many kids got fucked up by making millions of dollars? Their parents made them go play outside.
Right, man, messed out on my opportunity, man. But no, that's the way we as parents and as people in our community, we have to invest in our kids' curiosity to be artists.
I think
And
that's one thing. I think too many parents are like, little Tommy, you're gonna do this. Little
mm,
C, you're gonna do this. Like, you gotta let kids like, you gotta let people experiment up to the mid 20s,
mm,
right? Like, I tell kids, like college people, like, and of course, parents don't agree with me. Like, if you can, like, you graduate from high school, you can. Of course, economic situation is different. We can,
mm-hmm.
like, don't go to school for 6 months. Like, do a booster job. Like, go travel somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
go travel, see
Yeah.
world. Like the world's a big playground,
I
and
mean, like,
mhm,
suppose you live in Seattle, never been in Atlanta, you have family in Atlanta.
yeah,
I mean, maybe you might have to take a Greyhound bus there, which of course will suck, right? But
yeah,
go,
it's travel, experience
go
something.
somewhere, you know.
Yeah,
The college will always be there.
yeah, always going to be there,
Yeah,
and
you have to work out your life.
exactly.
Now,
And
of
you,
course, I understand, economic situation. You got to work, you got to school, you got to do that.
hmm
Here's one for you. So, two situations. Suppose there's one person. Like, how to make this like. So, how do you fix this, right?
hmm
Suppose you have one kid, right? Two parent, in middle, like upper middle income, two parents working, right? He goes to college. He can take a year off, fuck off, whatever.
hmm
Another kid, single parent background, struggling. He has to get a job, right?
hmm
Think there's a way to balance this, or it's just like the way life's always going to be?
it's the way life is always going to be.
Yeah,
Because even though, right? Because it kind of reminds me of that analogy of two kids growing up in a house, one becomes alcoholic, another one doesn't.
because the father was alcoholic.
The father's alcoholic.
Yeah,
So it's just about the perspective of the kid and what they want to do, you know? Because you have kids who grew up really, really well and they end up not not growing up in a good
yeah,
situation or not becoming good people. And you have people who come from dire situations growing up being the best that they can be. I think it's just based on the individual. There's nothing you really can do, but the thing that you can do from the outside is present opportunities for them to figure out if they want to or not.
yeah,
Don't rob opportunities, because it's a choice that the kid has to make. But choices are based on opportunities as presented.
yeah.
So that's what.
Because a kid with two income family, they can potentially like take a year off, start a business,
Yeah,
and make big money. Where the kid has to get a job. It might be a good paying job
yeah,
a good paying job, but
good paying job.
there are
Yeah,
different opportunities.
opportunity, and then the kid with the good paying job, maybe he's saving up money to get part of this school program or this fellowship that allows him to make more money than the kid with the two parent
Yeah.
household. But the fact that there's opportunity for him to do that allowed him to pursue that. So we just can't rob kids of the opportunities to explore that.
All right. So next one. So let's suppose there's a group of people that they're economically well off, right? Like they're rich, they have a lot of opportunities, they have all the jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're over here. This group over here, like economic disadvantage, they're struggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the responsibility of the well off people to come down here and give opportunities, or so these people here figure out how to get over here to take the opportunities?
Hmm.
Does that make any sense?
It does makes perfect sense. And the fact that my answer throughout the years has changed for that because of my personal thing. If the people that are disenfranchised, as long as the opportunities are not robbed from them, allow them to make a way. The problem is when the well-off people create blocks,
Blocks, yeah.
create blocks to prevent these people from getting over here.
As long as these people are saying, "Hey, here's a job fair, come
Yeah,
to it."
come through.
These people say, "Oh no, bring the job fair here." They should say, "Hey,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
we can take a bus, we can do whatever, we can
yeah.
get there."
Like allow them to have the choice to do whatever they want to. Don't be a gatekeeper. And that's the problem is when the well-off people are so afraid of the talent
Mhm.
of the disenfranchised people that they create blockages or obstacles along the way to prevent them from getting over here. That's the problem. But we know even in the well-off circles and the disenfranchised circles, There are people who don't have that grit to want to be
Yeah.
successful. But the issue is not the grit. The issue is there an obstacle?
Yeah.
So as long as these people over here don't create an obstacle to prevent these people to get to where they want to go to, then allow these people to make the decision on their own whether or not they want that kind of
Yeah.
lifestyle. You know?
Crazy. Everyone's had the same answer basically.
Huh?
Like everyone's had the same answer. Like,
Yeah.
no one has said it's the rich people need to come down here.
Yeah.
Everyone said it's the opposite way, which I always find that's surprising.
Yeah, it really is an obstacle, right? Because how many rags to riches stories do we hear about? Oh, I grew up with nothing and I just kept hustling and working, and I finally got here. It's because they avoided obstacles to prevent them to get over here, you know. And the one thing you don't want to do, the one advice that I've heard, and I think Steve Harvey said it was the best way to help a poor person is not become one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of fucking true.
Yeah. And you could be helpful all you want to. And the worst thing you can do as a person with a good heart is keep helping somebody that doesn't reciprocate the help.
We all know people who are like, you can like go there to their house.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I can't do it. You know, TV shows coming on, this happening, you know.
Right. Or there's somebody you know who's like, man, I need a car. I've been trying. I need a car. And you give them like $3,000 to get a car. And then 2 months later, where's your car? Oh man, like I had to pay these. No, I gave you money to get you a car.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't prevent or place anything in their way from them getting a car, that's the best help you can do.
Or here's a good one. Like, I need a job. Hey, I find you a job. You just have to catch this bus. It's a 30-minute bus ride. Go here.
Nah, bro, I don't want to do all
that. I don't get up to 10 in the morning.
Yeah, see, that
kinda, I don't get up to 10 in the morning, bro.
Yeah, no, I ain't trying to do none of that. No, like, and that will make you like, I don't want to help nobody.
Yeah.
Because, oh, you want me to help you, but you want to do it when it benefits you versus you getting up and making a sacrifice to do work. Like, okay, I got you a job. You live in Queen Anne. The job's in Kent.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I ain't trying to go that far. Okay, so you don't want a job then. Yeah. So, like,
so you just want something within your little 5-minute radius, your bubble.
Yeah, in your bubble, and that's not reality.
That's not going to work.
Because that also goes down to is what's your mission? What's your goal? Like, if this is just a vehicle to get you there, you don't care where that job is. You're going to do it because you're not going to be at that spot 3 years from now. You just need a launch to get there. You just don't prevent the launch.
And I think that's why so many immigrants outperform Americans.
Yeah.
Because they have that grit.
They have that grit. They like, you know, they got that grit, they have a plan.
Yeah.
It really is about, I think, honestly, to me, having a plan and having a dream is based on your vision and numbers. You can dream large all you want to, but you got to make sure those numbers match. And by numbers, I mean, if you want to lose weight, how much weight do you have to lose? How many times you got to work out a day? How many hours of the gym do you need to work out? If you want to own a arcade, how much you need to have saved? Like, how much does it cost for permits and licensing and things like that? So you can have a large vision, but your numbers have to match that large vision. And that's how your goals are created.
So your daughter's 15, 16?
Yeah, she's about to turn 16.
And what is she interested in? Like, what do you think she wants to do?
She wants to be an actress. She wants to be a performer in the theater and a teacher.
Okay.
And I will take credit. I feel like I have a hand in that. Dad points. But she wants to perform. She loves performing. Okay. She dances like all the time.
So this question might be relevant. I asking, right? Like, suppose. So I'm guessing you want your daughter to go to college, right?
Yeah.
So what happened to your daughter come to you and say, hey, Dad, and she has like a laid out plan, right? She says, hey, Dad, no, I'm going to go to college, but if I go to college, it's going to cost this money, this blah, blah, blah. If I don't go to college, go to YouTube University, go to community theater, like she has a plan not to go to college, what would your reaction be?
All right, if you have a plan, let's go. Okay. Because everybody, I know everybody's not meant for college. I know I'm using the old adage, I grew up, like, you go to school, go to college, get you a job, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the world's changed.
Oh, it changed a lot.
It's so much different, you know? So it depends on what my daughter's plan is. Even if her plan after she graduated high school is like, I need a year off because I've been in school my entire life. Let me just see what life's about. Yeah. Okay, if that's the plan, let's roll with it. I'll rock with you. What do you need from your dad? Yeah. You know? But what we do after this though? Like, you ain't gonna just be not doing nothing. So it depends what the plan is and where she wants her dad to help her out, and I got her.
Nice. So Jeff, is there anything I should ask you that I haven't, or anything else you want to talk about?
Now you asked me everything. Just more promo if I could. I got my I'm in the show, Brown Bodies on a Blue Earth, tonight at 7 p.m. at Base Camp Studios, the Theater Underground, and then the last show is tomorrow at 2 p.m. You know, Brown Bodies on the Blue Earth. And next Thursday, May 16th, I'm hosting a networking mixer game night called the Love Social at Communion R&B Restaurant. Community and R&B restaurant is also a nationally recognized restaurant too. The chef Christy Brown, the owner, co-owner of it, is a James Beard finalist chef, so she does her thing. So come through; it's free to attend. Um, Starts at 9 o'clock on May 16th, and also on Juneteenth, I'm hosting a Black Makers Market for the Juneteenth celebration with the scene at South Park as well as South Park Hall. So that's what I got coming up, and yeah.
And can you share your social media, or otherwise people
Oh,
talk to you?
I'm sorry, my social media. My website is Jeff Cheatham 2, the number 2.com. My social media is Channel Cheatham on Instagram, Jeffrey Cheatham the second on Facebook. My event planner company is Cotton 54. It's Cotton underscore 54 underscore 206. That's where I'll do all my events. And for the Seattle Urban Book Expo, just put Seattle Urban Book Expo on Instagram, and you get to follow all the stuff that I'm doing.
An event that's planning is his own personal business.
Yeah, that's the Cotton 54 is my event planning business that I'm using to raise money and raise awareness for me owning an arcade. It's Cotton 54. So if people want to do an event, go through my Cotton 54.
So can you talk about a little bit like how did that get started? Your vision, like how did you get started? What are you doing right now with that? What's your vision for it?
So it started when I would host my book fairs. Like, so I would do book fairs for the Seattle Urban Book Expo. And throughout the years, people would ask me to ideas for doing their own events. And it really started when I co-produced a singles night with her name is Chi Love. She's a matchmaker. She asked me to co-produce a singles night for her, and I just got the idea like, hey, the same principles I learned doing a book fair, I can do this over doing a networking event, and that's where I got the idea. And I was like, okay, I just don't want to do an event, plan an event just because. Like, what's the goal? Like, why am I doing these? And I remembered that I wanted to own my own arcade. So I was like, okay, let me just do this event company to help raise awareness for me owning my own arcade one day. And Cotton 54, the name comes from the energy I want to have my events, which is a combination of the Cotton Club back in the Harlem Renaissance era and Studio 54 back in the 80s. So it's a marriage of those two.
That's one thing I was gonna go back in time and like, do one night in Studio 54.
I don't think we'll make it.
The wall story, like probably die.
We wouldn't make it, man.
Let's see, you heard them doing in those days.
Yeah, I don't think our hearts are big enough for what was going on in Studio 54. All the documentaries I've watched on Studio 54, I still couldn't see myself going to one night.
Yeah, like one time I think they said like Rick Jagger's girlfriend went through butt ass naked on a white horse.
Yeah, well, I rode on a white horse, and then just having people dance topless, and then the fact they had the magic spoon. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't have make it.
More cocaine than the whole country of
Colombia. Yeah, all of it, yeah. Pablo loved him. Pablo Escobar loved Studio 54.
Man, so can you give us any last wisdom or advice on anything you want to talk about?
Wisdom, advice, just go. Because life, we only have one life to live, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. And if you keep waiting for life to happen, it's not going to happen. You got to make life happen. And the older I'm getting, the more I realize I have to make my life happen. And everything that I want to do, I'm going to do it because I want to get to the point where I get to an age where I can't move anymore and I can't think anymore. Or not think, or I can't, I don't have all my faculties. I can look back as like, okay, I did everything I was supposed to do. Because the last thing I want to happen to me is having regrets where I can't do anything about it. So I would just advise people, just go for it, man. Like, just go for it. Just do it. No matter what it is. Don't let social media let you think that your dreams are insignificant because it's not going to give you the traveling or the lifestyle because that's all a facade anyway. Just go for it. Just do it. And be happy with yourself when you do it because you will be regardless. So just do it.
Jeffrey, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
And to our listeners, thank you for your time as well. Remember to be great every day.